Hello, everyone, and welcome to SmashBoxxTV podcast 570. As a quick glance, I think it's 570.
It was 570, Terry.
Well, here we are. It's 570, and the biggest breaking news in all of disc golf, sporting, history, and news is officially here. And to see it unfold in the last 24 hours has been crazy.
You're clearly talking about... I have no clue what you're
T Swift.
Oh.
Travis Kelce. Come on.
Yeah. How's that influence disc golf?
Sporting, news. Taylor's going to get into disc golf.
Now that would be something.
So then everybody can complain that there's too much focus on her and not the NFL. I don't know. Okay, maybe there's not a direct tie. However, it was popped up in my feed today.
Oh, yeah.
Were a few of the, not the Taylor Swift stuff, popped up in my feed today, an ex-Packer that was at the Ben Askren Funky Farms
Evan Smith
pro celebrity thing that we had a few years ago. That must be on the anniversary today because I saw that pop up in my feed. So that made me think of football, made me think, that
was Evan, correct?
Yeah, and I wanted to repost it. I didn't get around to it. Also, I selfishly, personally, had a little highlight that came up that day too. That was pretty funny. But
little ace action.
It wasn't an ace. It was quite a throw-in, though.
Oh, it was a throw-in.
And believe it or not, I got cocky with Ricky Wysocki. I don't know if anyone can believe
gosh.
that. We were playing, I think, like a modified worst shot on that hole, and I parked the hole. And then I was Stokely, I believe. And then Stokely shanked it, and we had to play from his lie.
Yes.
And then...
Are we playing with, that wasn't the year you played with Eagle.
No, must not have been.
Remember the year you played with Eagle? That didn't go so hot either for Eagle. He had a rough time. I mean, I'm just...
Play with the pros, celebrity. I don't know how that all works out. We'll tie this together, though, with continuing to see updates from one funky Ben Askren, and hopefully things
really
continue,
good updates too.
Yeah, continue to go well for him. Obviously, he is so tied to numerous communities. Disc golf is probably the smallest of the communities, considering his MMA career and history, his training, the schools, his wrestling academies that he has here in the Milwaukee area. He dabbles a little bit in politics and crypto and other spaces as well. So, believe it or not, the disc golf community is probably one of the smaller subset communities that he's part of overall, and yet we're still passionate about it.
No matter what community he's addressing, it's almost always a disc golf shirt that he's wearing. It's like a Funky Farms. It's a Discraft shirt. He kind of just subtly gets that note out there, and obviously it's really good to see the way he is coming along. He's by no means out of any sort of woods. He had a hospital visit a couple weeks ago, just to whatever. But he said he's getting on the mend, and it's good to see. I think he's still using some assistance for walking and things, but you know what? Can't rush these things, honestly.
No. So we continue to wish him the best. I was in his neighborhood just a couple nights ago, not too far. I live just a few miles from him, and certainly continuing to watch the journey and hope that things go well for him. So tonight, I'll get to it, that we're not just going to have Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift updates. We'll dive into some other things. Apparently, some other notable figure, one Paul McBeth, scooped up a win this weekend.
Yeah, which is really funny because we had truly planned to have Paul on regardless of the win, to promote.
Yeah.
And then he just figured, he's like, you know what? I'm going to be on SmashBox anyway. I might as well win. And I can just talk about my win too. He doesn't want to come on. We always say, we like to welcome the winners on this show. And he knew that if he wanted to come back on the show, he had to win.
Yeah. Yes, Paul obviously has been busy. I think he might be even specifically live on Tour Life right now, doing the rounds as one would expect. It's been a minute, so congratulations to him. Who it hasn't been a minute for is one Owen Scoggins. I was doing a little bit of math.
2 hours.
In terms of what she's been doing over the last month of her play. Now, it's not like the greatest amount earned ever by any women, so to speak, because we've seen some other big numbers when you have the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship check always involved at the end of the year. However, like, who's who's living larger than Owen Scoggins right now?
Maybe just Gannon. Like maybe.
Yeah.
And just that is, and even that's hard pressed. Only because he got the Worlds win like she did. So that was already 5,000 more than her.
Sure.
And so that gives him a nice bonus. But she also had the Masters win. And I mean,
he did go get a World Games title.
That comes with no money, just a gold medal.
Yeah, and I'm not just talking dollars and cents. However, in terms of the overall clout of what they've been doing has been incredible. Her obviously pushing to the playoff in the Ledgestone. She comes up just short in the playoff fashion, but adds a little controversy to it to make sure we're still talking about her. And then goes and takes down Idlewild this weekend. Absolutely incredible. And I know the term gets thrown around a lot, but obviously just an inspiration to all out there. And I was saying it to my daughter last night, who we actually went out and played a few holes of golf. That's a little inspiration from being at a women's only tournament this last weekend, which I'll touch on later. But Owen, like, it's all right there in that Owen doesn't throw anywhere near. She's not even the top 50%. In terms of raw distance. She's not even in the top 50% of the women that are throwing. If you put her in a distance competition against the other 60 women at a tournament.
She's probably right in the middle. Probably.
Maybe. She's lower end, I'm thinking. Of course, I'm not ripping on her, but she's middle to lower end in terms of the distance, but then she just far excels in all those other categories.
Scrambling, putting.
Yeah.
Putting.
Usually lack of bogeys. Not one to get many bogeys or OBs.
Putting.
Yeah, putting. And then the putting makes up for any bogeys or OBs that are there. C2 putting. Yeah, it's insane. So let's quickly recap. Let me also just say, we'll have Paul at some point. He's going to pop into our little green room screen. With that, we'll be able to wrap up our thoughts and then get to Paul and some of the other conversations. So he is coming. Whenever he arrives, that's when we're going to get to him. So until then, we can talk about our regular action. So let's start with a FPO over at Idlewild.
It wasn't even really close.
Oh, okay.
Owen Scoggins. She takes this one down by 7 strokes. She had a 2-stroke lead after the first round over Katrina Allen. The second round, she jumped it up to a 5-stroke lead over Alexis Mondahano. Shout out to Alexis. And then the third round, she increased her lead even more to a 7-stroke lead over Missy Gannon. So she just kept increasing the lead while everybody below her shuffled around.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you see Kat jump up, you see Alexis jump up, and then at the end, we see Missy jump up, all with great rounds, but of course not with that consistency.
Yeah, not with the consistency. Owen had just consistent, she had a 7, a 6, and a 5, whereas most of the other women dropped a low single-digit number in there somewhere, and she's so damn good. There's not much more to say about it. Looking at the final round, she dropped in a 46-footer, a 40-footer, a 34-footer, a 30-footer on hole 17. And this is with the lead. It's not even like we've seen her in the past where she gets behind and it feels like her putting gets better as the rounds go on, but she had the lead and it didn't matter to her. So she only missed 2 of them inside the circle that final round. And I'm sure it was the basket's fault. I'm sure the baskets jumped out of the way.
So I'll be the first to admit I was not able to consume a lot of the footage from this weekend, but just even looking at the stats, I see 3 for 6 from C2 in that final round. What was she in round 2? She was 2 for 2. So what does that make her? 4 for 8, and then 3 for 5 makes her
7 for 13.
Yeah, 7 for 13 from C2.
Those are good numbers. That's almost 50%, Terry.
I think it's better than 50%.
It's almost less than 50%. That's what I meant.
But it's not. It's more than 50%.
I know, but it's almost less. Okay. So it's so close to more that it's almost less. No. Yeah, she's over 50% C2 putting.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
And that's not on like you made 3 of 4, which is still impressive to make 3 of 4. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're talking about 13 shots at it. And the fact that she still can 7 of them, that's awesome. So, not a bad paycheck. Did I see how much was the paycheck?
I don't know. I didn't look at that part.
Okay, if you scroll up and click on the big button. Yeah,
right there.
Here. Yeah, that
we
name.
Pick on this one.
I thought I saw $8,000
for Owen Scoggins. Damn. Second place, Missy Gannon, 11 under par, 7 strokes worse than Owen Scoggins. She takes home $5,000. Then we've got Valerie Mondahano at third and Alexis Mondahano at fourth. Fifth place, Jennifer Smiley, a name we don't talk about too much on the show. We haven't mentioned her name very often. Tied with Allie Smith and Katrina Allen. Now, Allie had a really great first round, a not-so-great second round, but then a solid third round. So just to kind of getting it together. I know Allie's had her issues, as we all know, with her putting and some of the things there, but ultimately a really good showing from Allie Smith. Eighth place, Rebecca Cox. Ninth place, Jessica Weiss and Kat Murch. So another notable, Holland Hanley in 11th place. Just, kind of in that slump is what Holland is.
I'll ask, is there anything that anyone saw in terms of, I don't know how much you were able to consume, and maybe some of the viewers can let me know. Like
it's hard when she's not on coverage.
Well, I was just going to say, let's just put it this way. Clearly, she has raised the bar for herself so high this year that we were astonished when she finished outside the top 5 at Worlds. She finished in 8th, which is still very respectable, but it's not where she's been playing all year. And then did not cash the next big event at Ledgestone. Absolutely threw everyone for a shock. As we talked about it last week, she had the third longest cash streak in FPO at the time, and so she's going to reset that. And then to come here, and we know how this track is.
It's finicky.
And that's why we so rarely see a lot of duplicate winners, especially on the MPO side. But we just rarely see, we have so many unique winners on this track. So I understand a few bad breaks, you could take some really, significant numbers out there. But I think it's fair to say, Holland included, everyone shocked at an 11th place finish.
Yeah, especially here where, you don't have any of the Europeans who are usually up near the top. It feels like Holland is there's just something not quite clicking on all cylinders with her, and whether it's physical or mental. I think she had an interview with Grant this weekend that said she feels good. She feels fine. So the few times I did catch her on coverage, it usually wasn't pretty. Like she just, and again, you can be off by a couple inches at Idlewild and it hurts you very badly. And that's what I saw from her. Was that her drives didn't seem to be on. Her approaches were okay, and her putting is okay. Okay. But it seems to be her drives that aren't clicking. So anyway, I'm sure that we've got a week off, then going to D-Glow. D-Glow feels like the type of course that really that benefits her. A more wide open, longer course that maybe she can kind of get herself resituated and get into Michigan, back up into that top 5 area that we all kind of expect to have from her. But we're also got the Europeans coming back.
Zach on the board is letting us know and says that Holland took a 6 on the very easy hole number 11. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in theory, like to some players, that's as easily a 4-stroke swing for
after
a good portion of the field.
Having a 25-foot birdie putt.
Yeah, and I understand how it could happen with the rollaways and the height and all that. I'm not second guessing how it happened. I guess I'm just saying that's likely 3 or 4 that you're giving to the field on that one particular hole. So, and then real quick, one of the few notes I did see on the weekend in some of the break that I had was flipping through a highlight. There was a highlight shot from Missy Gannon, and what I noticed is it was on hole 10, the previous hole, so the one we were just referencing. And the fact that Missy was getting anywhere near the basket led me to immediately be like, wait a minute. They must have finally got a short tee pad.
They shortened it up. Is that the one for me? Is that the one they shortened up to about 225?
I don't know. I think
maybe I could pull it. I could pull it up.
I didn't pay that much attention.
I just
see
know that
it was like hole 10. Oh, you're on.
I'm the
there
one.
we go.
There we go. FPO.
So the regular tee is 368, which it's been forever.
Hole 10's 222. So they really it's now shortened to the right. I couldn't put the numbers together. It's shortened to the right, so it's more or less just a simple hyzer shot, to be honest, for a right-hand backhand thrower. You just have to hit like a 20-foot gap up and then let it fade. It's a little bit uphill.
Yeah, probably plays 260 if I had to guess.
Yeah, and there were a lot of players that I saw on the FPO side catch trees up on the on the left. So it looks very simple. Obviously, looks can be deceiving, but that is a hole that they shortened up so that it is attackable.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I will say awesome to see. And that's never been a rip on the event. It's just always personally been watching how difficult, even on the men's side, how that hole is so rarely birdied and how difficult it is on the men playing the regular, we'll call it the long tee now, the MPOT that's been there, where everyone's played from, and seeing virtually 0 birdies ever on the FPO side. Awesome to see that was an adjustment that was ultimately made there on hole 10. Even if I didn't see the entire hole or how it played, the fact that it's 2/3 of the distance now and can be reached is much more exciting.
Yeah, and the funny part is I'm looking at the hole 222. I'm scrolling down. I'm not seeing a ton of birdies on it, which is crazy because the hole is very straightforward.
Wow, it's still far more than the previous 0.
Oh yeah, no, it's that's a much better spot to be in.
And before we slide off of, of course, congrats to Owen Scoggins and the rest of our top performers. Seeing Alexis and Valerie, seeing highlights come in from both of them was awesome. Obviously, Valerie continuing some of that momentum from what she did last weekend. What I saw on social media, a quick follow-up to that was, Katrina obviously having a great weekend and being in the mix, especially after round 1, made a post about fans and people being out there and all the love and support. And I'll just echo, I guess, or repeat what I saw her post, which was basically she's received some disparaging / hateful, hurtful comments, negative comments about her not necessarily being available for some of the autograph signings and such after the round. And she wanted to share, so I'm going to echo it. And she's saying, I've got scheduled time when I'm golfing and when I'm working, and now my daughter is my number one priority, Eloise. So
don't blame her at all.
If she's not around or if she's not available, whatever her mommy duties entail, we can't really second guess that whatsoever. So I will just extend her sentiment because I think it's a very fair one. And it's unfortunate because we all know there's times, what's unfortunate is there's times where that might be the one impression you get, and it comes from something you don't understand. Meaning she puts her disc in her bag, immediately walks off the course, doesn't stop to do any signings or whatever. She's going to feed her child or going to do something that is directly related to her toddler. And you may not necessarily know or recognize or realize that. And then all of a sudden you think, oh man, what a terrible first impression or interaction. And then I think that it gets said of all of our players. It's even tough when a player, misses that final birdie putt. And maybe it was they were having a bad putting day already. They missed the final birdie putt on 18. And then we essentially expect them, like all professionals, like all actors and athletes, we expect them to just put a smile on.
Put a smile on, come over here,
stand in line and sign autographs. And then inevitably, somebody's going to say something that's actually going to be spiteful, even if they're not trying, man, your putt was really off today. I wish you would have made that one on 18. And it's like... So I'm not making excuses for anyone. I'm just saying I get it. I understand. And hopefully everyone provides a little bit of understanding and grace with all of our players. And as we all know, sometimes players are just going through things that also aren't even public. But Katrina wanted to share that. And so I'll echo it and put it out there as well. So,
all right.
That's all.
MPO. Our guest, hopefully a little bit later, Paul McBeth. He'll be joining the show. He wins by a single stroke over Gannon-Buhr. What an exciting round. I got to watch the final round of this event between Paul and Gannon, and it was electric. It really was. Gannon with the eagle on 8, just when you thought that Paul was going to start to run away with it, was amazing. And we'll talk about a lot of this with Paul, I'm sure. But just an amazing throw-in. just the reaction, how he was so far away, he didn't even know it went in until someone was running down the fairway with their arms up, and then he kind of just turns to the crowd. It was classic. It was very nice. If that was, I think, if that was the Gannon that everybody saw on the course all the time, he would be a beloved player. That's the type of Gannon you see on a lot of the behind the scenes, the Alden videos, the Gannon videos. I think he has a different persona on the course for some people because they tend to see him being a little more meticulous and kind of talking to himself once in a while, or the wind or whatever, things like that. So, but Gannon Buhr losing by a stroke to Paul McBeth, just an amazing match. Third place, Cole Ridallen, a name we haven't talked about very often. He eagled the first hole of the final round. He shot a 12 under par that round for a 1066 rating. And just, I have to wonder, like, is he finally healthy? He was that guy 3 years ago that everyone said he's the next thing. Mm-hmm. He's going to be talked about in these top 5. Him, Gavin Rathbun, and I don't know if the injury, how much that set him back, but if this is the type of play we'll see from him, I'm looking forward to it, because Cole he throws a mile, and he's got an okay putt. He's fun to watch. So ultimately, third place at 30 under. He's just so much. He's so smooth and fun to watch, and
his throw looks so effortless.
So effortless,
which is kind of the disgusting part.
It's like watching Simon putt from like 60 feet. He just that flick that floats. That's how Cole throws a disc, and it's just amazing. So another name we haven't talked too much about, not that he's been off the scene by any means, but Kyle Klein in fourth place. I think we saw Kyle pop up at was it Worlds?
No, at Ledgestone.
Ledgestone.
He was a little bit more in the mix and in the conversation.
So Kyle Klein in fourth place, shooting a 27 under par. Chris Dickerson, Calvin Heimberg, Raven Newsom, all tied for fifth place at 26 down. Eighth place, Andrew Miranda, tied with Zach Arlinghouse, who is a local out there, a local lefty.
Yep, out to that area.
Yep, and Gavin Babcock, Colin Bryant, Simon Lizotte, and Kevin Jones. That wraps up your top 13, really, but technically top 10.
Yeah, and looking at, you see that Jones and Joey Buckets, one stroke apart, finishing tied for 8th, plus then tied for 14th. Two previous winners out here at this event, right? And Isaac Robinson, just a stroke behind, or actually Isaac ties with Joey. So interesting. Did I see the stat that Paul's the first ever repeat champion at this course, which again says something in terms of what this course presents, and that no 2 weekends are alike in terms of you going around this track.
I would never call the course fluky, because I don't think that I think there are clean lines to pretty much every shot.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of danger you can get into. If you're off by a little bit, you can get punished or you can get lucky. We saw on the final hole, Paul up by 1 on hole 18. He throws a mediocre shot that didn't turn. It went straight and then started to hyzer out to the left, where it would have been sketchy on whether or not he would have had an approach to the basket, hits a tree, and kind of rolls down into the fairway.
Yeah, it kind of takes a check roll back out.
It check rolls in, which gives him more or less a very clean shot to park the hole. So it's things like that can really add up. If you're getting the breaks, man, Idlewild is a great place. If you're not getting the breaks, it could be so frustrating.
Yeah, because we'll use that as one example. Just imagine that happens to you 12 times out there. You're maybe not bogeying that hole then, or getting bogeys, but you're getting those pars, and then somebody else with a very similar shot. And again, I'm not trying to dip into the quote unquote luck of it, but sometimes a couple of inches on a course like that can make or break the shot, and then that can determine if you even are in position or not to get up and down and possibly get the birdie, or if you're going to have to be okay with a par. So, because there's plenty of birdies. Just looking at the scorecard,
I mean, look at Cole. He racked up. He only missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes.
Yeah, and then I look at Chris Dickerson, who similarly, had 2 pars, 3 bogeys, but 13 birdies, including birdieing the last 8 holes of the tournament to finish. To move up 9 spots. So there obviously are a ton of birdies out there. Obviously, there's also that excitement. Look at all the random eagles that are out there. We've seen an eagle on 1. Now, Gannon's is maybe the rarest of them all. But
on hole
an eagle on 8, which has been done before. But
I don't know if it has.
Yeah, I think that one's been 2'd before, but not from that distance.
Okay.
It wasn't a big skip throw in like that.
Sure.
And then hole 14, I got to think about hole 14. Okay, yeah, I can see how that one gets eagled.
Oh, Kyle threw that one in. That was the throw in. He made it to the bottom of that hill, and then he was kind of off to the left, I believe, and he had to throw this beautiful little Anheuser shot that that just pressed it and smashed it in. Like that was, you're not going to see a ton of 2s there. You'll probably maybe see 1 a weekend if you're lucky, but Kyle just had the most perfect shot. And hole 16 is the most eagleable hole out there, especially for MPO. If you get yourself in a good position on the drive, all you have to do is either
throw another 500-foot shot.
You throw a big monster hyzer and put yourself in the open, give yourself a 30-footer.
Yeah.
Or if you're, we've seen people like Paul throw it onto the island on that second shot. But almost nobody seemed to go for the island. Almost all of them were coming up short and playing over the ravine, just because that danger of going into that culvert or ravine or whatever it is before the green is it's too dangerous. You could hit and roll. There's an OB behind, so it's such a small landing zone that I think everyone just plays it short now and just tries to toss it in. And oh my God, watching the FPO on that hole, I believe it was on Sunday. I think we had 3, maybe it was Saturday. I think there were 3 50-footers or 60-footers on that hole from one card. Own drained, I think like a 50, not quite 60, 55 feet, followed up by, I think it was Macy, who drained one from like 50 feet, and Rebecca Cox drained one from like 45 feet. They were just all over that basket. It was amazing, that round. So exciting. But yeah, that's your Idlewild for you.
Idlewild lives up to its name.
Yeah, it's wild.
Nothing idle about it.
I don't know. I've heard all sorts of things about the future of Idlewild, and I don't know what's true and what's not as far as the tour and things like that. But this is an event that the people show up for this.
Yeah.
It had such a good crowd that and the course is so exciting. I would hate to see anything happen to this to this event. We've any course or any event can drop off for a year or two, as we saw with Jonesboro.
Sure,
they might come back in a year or maybe 2. Who knows? But Idlewild is kind of.
I have not heard said rumors.
I've seen some things online.
Is this park related? Is this
I have no
construction?
Clue.
Is
I
this
have no
money?
clue. Tim on the board might know
People
more.
going to jail? What's the?
You never know, Terry. Changing it into a landing strip for more planes, for crying out loud. No, and I don't know. Maybe nothing, and people are just talking about how they don't want to see it go. But it's such a really good event, and I think it would be a shame if we ever lost this event just because of the nature of it. There was a long time that nobody ever repeated at Maple Hill. Like it just seemed like it was
also very
It was a very
tough track to do again.
It was a very tough track to ever repeat, or they had so many unique winners, and Idlewild feels like that right now, where you got to be on your game, and I really have always enjoyed this course.
Yeah, well, I have not heard of that. I haven't also been digging for any of that, but I have not heard that. So hopefully everything's going to be good to go and shouldn't be any problems with it. But yeah, I guess anything's possible. Maybe Tim or somebody else on the board mentioned a little earlier. It sounded incorrect because it was. Somebody said that because it was. Somebody said that on the board that the payout was bigger for Idlewild, and unless there's some math I don't know about,
it could be some funny math, like
like per person or something. But anyway, real quick, Idlewild, and this is not to disparage one or the other event, but the way I'm seeing it is there were 100 MPO players at Idlewild, and there were 42 FPO players, and it says there was a total purse at Idlewild of $105,000, which is insanely impressive, of course. Again, 13,000 for first, 8,000 for
maybe it's like dollars per player.
Yeah.
Like if you take the number of players divided by the purse,
but the total purse is 105,000.
Yep.
When you look at the Ledgestone, there was 49 women, so 7 more women. Valerie got $9,000 for first, as opposed to 8,000. Okay, and then on the MPO side, there was 155 MPOs to 100, and 15,000 was first place. The total purses, though, were still different by 40,000 total dollars. So Ledgestone, per the PDGA site right now, shows $145,000 purse. Idlewild shows $105,000 purse. Now, a couple other things just to tack on to that, because I'm not in a debate about them. I'm just reading off some of the numbers here. There, first of all, is a higher expectation for whatever the Ledgestone payout is, because it's an Elite Plus event. So I don't know if that's exactly percentage or a guaranteed amount added. Whatever it is, I'm sure they hit that as a 4-day Elite Plus event. And then as a 3-day event, there's, although still high standards, sure, the overall standards are slightly lower for a quote unquote just an elite. And I'll use that in quotes.
And I was right. So Idlewild, $739 per player.
Okay.
Versus
like paid out or whatever.
Yeah. So you have
roughly,
142 players, $105,000 versus the $145,000 divided by 155 players. You said?
No, it was 100. Well, are you just talking MPO or are you talking everybody?
I'm talking everybody.
So basically,
it was 155. 50. Right? It says at the top, right? Total players.
Oh, okay. I was doing different math, but yeah, 204.
Oh, divided by divided by 204. And that's
so
like
739 to 710.
Yeah. So, okay. I mean, ultimately, what it is, what it is. But yes, per person, Idlewild had a higher payout than Ledgestone. But again, it's apples and oranges, honestly. So, by the way, it's great payout. I mean, I'm not going to.
I don't know that anyone's complaining.
I don't
about
believe that Paul or Gannon are complaining about their wins, huh? Right, Gannon won Ledgestone.
Do you think they're playing for the money? I mean, they are.
I think they are, yeah. I don't think they have a choice. I mean, Paul maybe still donates it to the Paul McBeth Foundation. I haven't heard about this year. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe Gannon should donate his to the Paul McBeth Foundation.
Or just donate it to Paul McBeth. Just be like, hey, dude, you need it.
You need it. I'm not letting you win often.
I'm cool.
Ouch.
I'm cool, bro.
Ouch.
There was a great picture, obviously, the recreation of the Gannon little kid, Paul, adult picture, and now you've got Gannon, who's a foot taller than Paul, holding a disc. It was a nice throwback, and
we're going to see that picture a million more times, understandably so. I'm not downplaying it, but we're going to see that for quite a few years until the day if or when Paul is all but irrelevant in terms of a competitive standpoint, week in week out. We're going to see that picture pop up quite a few times, as we should, when you're looking at those two. All right. Speaking of, wannabe pros or soon-to-be pros, taking place this weekend, still not the event that I was out covering, which I'll talk about, but I'll briefly talk about because I want to kind of save a lot of that for next week. But going on in Columbia, Missouri, was the FA1 and MA1 Amateur World Championships, aka the Amateur World Championships, which is now just those two divisions, which to someone old like you and I, Am Worlds used to mean like 40 different divisions. At one point, they split off into having masters go with other masters. Then Junior Worlds became an entirely separate event way back in the day. And now it almost feels weird, but there's just MA1 and FA1. And oh my goodness, the battles that unfolded in both divisions looked insane. And at some point, I'm going to dedicate myself to go getting caught up on them, because just strictly off of the sheets, off the numbers that we'll talk about here in a second, it was insane.
Yeah. In MA1, Hayden Carroll wins with a 43 under par, besting RJ Cherkis, who's 42 under par. So he beats him by a stroke. And on hole 18, Hayden birdies, and RJ bogeys. So which means the tournament came down to the last hole where RJ had the lead and it flip-flopped.
Yeah.
So what a brutal, like didn't even get a tie. Like you lose a stroke because of whatever. That's understandable. It's got to kill you inside, that you bogeyed the last hole to lose. But them's the breaks, unfortunately. So Hayden Carroll, your new amateur world champion on the MA1.
A lefty. We, of course, we often talk about, who's our best lefty in the game. And that conversation, gets held, and then you backtrack a couple years depending on who you're going to include, like a Devin Owens, and right now there's a lot of great conversations as to who it is. But Hayden Carroll certainly is going to have to be at least talked about a little bit as being one of the lefties that's out there that may be an up and comer. I don't know all of his plans, but almost 1,000 rated. Lives in Ohio, and
I mean he was 989 rated. I'm sorry, that was his round. His
final round. Yeah,
he's 997 rated. Yep. So he's right up there at the top of this field. RJ Cherkis is only 981 rated, so RJ would have kind of been the upset had he won this particular event. Third place, friend of the show, James Collier.
He was our AM Nationals winner from a few months ago, and
he fought back because he was further down. I think we talked about it last week. I think he was in 12th place or something. Kind of worked his way back up the field to get himself within 2 strokes. At one point, I believe he was even closer than that. But James, one of the few players with a PDGA picture profile. So tie for 4th place between Austin Yoder and Vaughn Bontrager. Bontrager, sorry, can't tell. I'm going to go Bontrager. 6th place, Noah Feil. F-E-I-L. You make your choice. Sorry. You know what? Win a pro event, we'll learn your name. 7th place, Micah Tompkins. 8th place, Zeb Kaler and Benson Graber. Sorry, that one's pretty easy that I just screwed up. Benson Graber. And then 10th place, Jasper Worth, Alan Vasquez, Zach Peters. That's your top 10.
Yeah, congratulations. All the top finishers, long, brutal week of disc golf out there. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stories, not just about the competition, but then also just about the overall experience and the course and everything that unfolded for the Amateur World Championship week. So, yeah, and it's funny to look down those ratings, and naturally you're looking at, James, who came in as the highest rated at 1,001, who had won the AmNats, as we just said. Hayden, 997, 981, 998 for Austin Yoder, 988 for Noah, Zeb, 997, Benson, 997, Zach Peters, 999. So clearly this is the next batch of our players. And then
even more exciting over on the the FA1. I almost said FPO. The FA1, it went into a playoff, Terry. Therese Cuevas and Peyton Kohut. 3-hole playoff. They started at hole 1, and it looked like I don't know if it was a loop or what, but it looked like they were just going to play the front 1 through 8 and then 18. 1 through 8 and then 18 if it got that far. Hole 1, they both bogeyed. Hole 2, they both birdied. And then finally it was decided on hole 3 when Therese, she parred the 3rd hole and Peyton took a double bogey on that. So that was how your FA1 Amateur World Championships was decided. What a battle back and forth. They were both at 34 under par going into the playoff. In 3rd place, Haley Huber, a name we've talked about quite a bit, 33 under par. So just a stroke behind them. And it looked like Haley had a chance to be part of that and just didn't play that well on the back 9 of the course. Because it looked like there were a lot of birdie opportunities
Yeah, came just one short of a 3-way playoff. And if you go to the previous round, they went into the semifinals, or the final round. When you look at round number 4, it was a 3-way tie, and then Kylie, was just one off of the pace of the 3-way tie. So Peyton, Haley, and Therese were all at 27 under. Kylie at 26 under. Just the thought of going to bed on Friday night.
And Yolanda at 25 under.
Yeah, and then going to bed on Friday night knowing that it's that close. All of these super young players, these super incredible competitors. We talked to Addison Woodard just last week about, if she'd be in the mix.
I wonder what that group chat looked like.
Yeah, exactly. And then just to have them go and then battle it out on Saturday morning and have it come down to, obviously a 2-way tie, almost a 3-way tie. Is just awesome. Congrats to, again, everyone there. I think it's clear with seeing now a couple of iterations of high-level events, seeing their names up there, getting to know them a little bit better. If they want it, they are all ready for the pro division. Yeah. Yes, they're all young, but they have been, the way they carry themselves as these would have been semi-pros now for the last couple of years. It should be very exciting to see if or when they all shift into the open division.
And pretty cool on the final round, Peyton gets a hole-in-one on hole 12. Yeah. At AmWorld's final round to help push you into that playoff, because she went ace, par, birdie, 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 par in order to get to that playoff. That's a heck of a back nine. To run through in order to make it to a playoff. Yeah. So let's talk about
like 3 strokes in the last 6 holes, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, 4th place, Kylie Kohat. 5th place, MJ Gager. 6th place, Yolanda. 7th place, Kaylee Hess. 8th place, Brooke Johnson. I'm sorry, you're right, Kayla Hess, thank you. 8th place, Brooke Johnson. 9th place, Ember Simonis. Tied with Ellen Dixon. So that's your top 10 in the FA1. Those are names. Just wait. Yep. 2 years, we'll be seeing them pop up on chase cards, maybe even lead cards in the FPO field, if I can spit it out properly. We'll see them on the FPO field. It's just inevitable. Like we saw Addison at Ledgestone. These women are in that same caliber as her. So I will not be surprised when I see them and everyone's like, oh yeah, I remember talking about Haley Huber. She was, So
yeah, very, very cool to see. Congrats to all competitors. Awesome that we have now. That is our final Worlds officially in the books. We've had the Junior Worlds. We've now had the Masters Worlds. We've had now Am Worlds and the Pro Worlds. So all of our world champions for now have been crowned.
I was just trying to think. I'd have to look at the junior one, but Masters Worlds went to a playoff. FPO went to a playoff. Mm-hmm. FA1 went to a playoff. Just some really exciting golf at these world championships.
The one thing I don't know, maybe either someone on the board or someone that watched was able to consume all of the coverage, is an aggregate playoff for the world title. Should that become a default?
Well, was this aggregate?
I don't know. I don't believe that it was.
No, I think it was sudden death that they just got to the
But
third
I'm
hole.
asking,
I think so.
If there's a place, and I can understand you want it in some places, you don't. I know it's an available option. I know there's waivers, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I think if there's ever a place where it seems the most appropriate, I think of the single highest honor in our sport, being the Worlds. That's where I could see an aggregate playoff being implemented. Now, you can make the argument for plenty of other places, and that's fine too. Mm-hmm. I'm as long as it's known ahead of time, I don't know if I really care one way or another. But at the Worlds, the biggest title in your life, I wouldn't be opposed if that became the new default. Because right now, it's clearly not a default. No. It's an option to the event, but it's not a default. Should it be?
Should it be? I mean, as we know, there's different pros and cons. I like an aggregate playoff in general, but I think about, let's say you do a 3-hole playoff and you have Peyton goes into the final hole down by 1. Mm-hmm. she's clearly at a disadvantage, but she also knows I have to birdie if I want this to go on. So it becomes match play then, where it's do or die. So is that fair to Therese, who
it is, because the only reason why it's that close if she's down one is because she lost a stroke on one of the previous 2 holes, but didn't lose the world title yet. So
it just an aggregate like that allows the person from behind to play more aggressive than they probably would in a sudden death. But
you could say the exact same thing. We'll use this example. Therese is parked under the basket for birdie on the first hole. Let's just say during a playoff. Therese is parked under the basket. She's got a birdie. Peyton hits first tree available and also feels like she needs to birdie, so she's going to very aggressively throw that shot. So, like, you're saying that scenario just 2 holes later. I mean, the only reason she's in that predicament in the first place of being aggressive is because she gave up a stroke on one of the prior 2 holes. So I don't mind.
I
see where you're going. I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters either. I prefer an aggregate playoff overall. It always kind of feels like, take hole 1 at D-Glow.
Okay.
Chris Clemens walks up and is playing off against Simon Lizotte.
Sure.
Like, cool. Everyone's walking
saying righty versus lefty.
Exactly.
Favor.
On a hole which clearly favors a lefty. Like, a lefty just bombs a hyzer out there.
So you want them just to play 1 and then 18 over and over?
I want them to walk up and down those damn hills.
No, I just think lefty shot and lefty shot, 1 and 18.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, no doubt. No, just saying, like, seeing something like that, it just, anybody can still win. And especially hole 1 at D-Glow, we've seen righties bomb, whatever. It's just, to have something that favorable to one or the other and have a single hole determine a winner like that after you've played 72 holes or whatever number on whatever event you're playing. I always like that. It gives you a little bit more option, a little bit more play when you have an aggregate in general. So
I'll say I don't think we need to see it at, as a default for lots of the other events, but the World Championships I feel like is the spot where it should start.
Yeah. But I'm also with you if you played it everywhere.
Sure. So next C tier I'm running, if there's a playoff for first 9-hole aggregate playoff.
That would be awesome.
No, it wouldn't, because mine's probably going to be in November. It's going to be like 9 degrees
out. Let them.
And it's going to be dark. So that's very impractical, but it would be funny
you tell them,
to just have this. Like,
I'll be at the bowling alley. You come tell me who won.
9. Just some silly number of holes.
Just a full round, 9. An 18 holes.
9 holes. And then start them in like a really stupid spot. Like actually, you're starting on 9.
Like a 12 or 14-minute walk out to their hole. Yeah, you're starting on the other side of the park. But I wanted you to finish over on the front side.
So no, don't do that. Anyway, I would be all in favor of it for the world title as kind of a side note. Just thinking about these specific playoffs that we've seen. Now, don't get me wrong. Who doesn't love the drama of sudden death? This is a life-changing shot, and the pressure that goes along with the fact that it's sudden death. And at some point, there's going to be a life-changing shot, whether that's the first hole and you throw it out of bounds and you essentially go ahead and give it away over the next 3, or if it's the last hole and you throw it in, when you're down 1, whatever. But yeah. All right.
And I always think it's funny because obviously Steve Dodge was a big push for this.
Yeah.
And
he was really the first that we heard of
that wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And which I can understand because hole 18 it can definitely favor somebody on
Maple Hill
at the Maple Hill on the approach. But hole 1 to me favors nobody. Just throw it, and now you have to go through the tunnel and make it in. So it's just interesting depending on the course. So.
Okay. With that, I think we covered all the big events. Here's what I'm going to quickly say about the Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championship is that I'm not going to say anything about it.
What?
I'm going to save it all for next week. And whether that's our winner, who I haven't announced yet, whether it's the winner and or maybe I'll reach out to the tournament director, or maybe a combo of the two, whatever the case is. I would like to save that for next week so we can have a full in-depth, because the hope is that all coverage will then be out and available, and then we can have all of its own shine put on that event. The highlights that I'll just quickly mention now is that Allie and the team out there put on a phenomenal event. So many supporting cast and crew members. I think they ultimately had too many caddy volunteers.
Wow, what a problem!
If you caddy, you sign up to be a caddy for the weekend. You're assigned someone, assuming they want a caddy. They get assigned. Caddies could be then part of a special flex start that took place on this beautiful property, and ultimately, a basket was given away to one of the caddies that was in the drawing then from being a caddy. And just, I could go on for hours, so I won't tonight. I'll save it. But Allie and the entire team, and our host specifically in Jeff Hungerford, PDJ 688, who's an incredible human, Ray Woodruff, who has then also run the event in the past. So a couple of those supporting cast members to help Allie and the rest of the team put on the event was nothing short of amazing. Both my daughters traveled along, my daughter Allie and also my daughter Kenzie. They had a phenomenal time. Things came down to the wire in terms of some timing, where ultimately, I can share this much without spoiling anything, because of a couple of weather delays on the final round, our very, very comfortable time span of making our flight shrunk. And when it was all said and done, we were running very late. I wanted to stay there for all the final shots, but we were running very late. And the last putt went in. The winner said, "Terry's got to catch a flight." I literally waved goodbye and ran from the basket of 18 to the car that was waiting in the road.
Oh, sure.
To then go to the...
That your daughter's driving?
No, my daughter wasn't, but Jeff was. My daughters were already in it. Everything was packed, and had a 30-minute drive to the airport. And only because the flight got slightly delayed did we actually make the flight.
Wow.
If it wouldn't have been delayed, we would have missed the flight. So everything worked out. But
what's a one-day delay?
We could have found a way. It's so funny too, because
Sure.
I was so anxious to make sure we got the flight back, because my daughters have multiple dog sitting and house sitting gigs this week that started Sunday. They both had work on Monday and other obligations on Monday. They had more going on Monday than even I did. So I wanted to make sure that we got back on Sunday night as planned. But it was... we cut it as close as humanly possible, and only because of a delay did we make the flight. So coverage to be released. It's essentially edited. There's some really awesome stuff in it. I gotta say, it was so fun to record. But we're going to see if we can get some FPO commentary on it rather than me babbling for all three rounds. The plan is to get FPO commentary on it and then get it released. So I think that it'll be that much more of a impactful and enjoyable experience, because, as I always say, I only do it just to get it done so that we can get rounds out quicker. But there was so much coverage this weekend with Idlewild going on, AM Worlds going on, and everything else. We said, hey, let's push this back a few days and give it its own space and time to breathe, and then let's get FPO commentary on it. So that's the plan. All right. I'm going to quickly read on the board. Somebody asked, where's Pablo? We are expecting him really any time now. I would say it's maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes is when I would expect
We're going to have Pablo on? I thought we were having Paul.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I guess we'll have Paul Sr. Actually, that might be actually his dad or his grandpa, so maybe I won't say that. But Paul will be joining us. Yes. Someone says, I saw Paul McBeth on the other podcast with Charlie, which is the Ultra World podcast. Probably was that yesterday or today?
It might have come out today.
Okay, so it's probably filmed yesterday. He said he seemed tired. He probably is.
Yeah.
That's a fair statement. I wouldn't be surprised if he is, as we all know. One thing to be a professional disc golfer and probably one of the most, I don't want to say distracted, pulled upon or approached guys out on the tour, and then on top of it, being a father, I can only imagine. So we'll talk to him a little bit about that as well. Outside of that, that feels like most of the stuff from this weekend.
There wasn't a ton going on this weekend other than what we saw from, Am Worlds, which ended on Saturday. Was that right? Or Sunday? Did it go through Sunday?
That ended on Saturday.
Yeah, and it's
Saturday.
Saturday. And then we had Idlewild this weekend, but not a lot of other news in the disc golf world.
Anything on the it was kind of obviously there was a big conversation last week with regard to or back at Ledgestone with regard to the timing, and I don't think we even really touched on it too much last week, but there is a conversation about, I don't know, conversation is not even the right word. The fact that we are going to see the 45-second rule implemented next year, and I know Gannon and others have discussed that a little bit. That's something that is now officially a thing, and I'm excited to see what that will or won't do for us come next year, but that's to be determined. Oh, other news. Speaking of next year, let me check my notes. Okay, still not here. I was hoping that we would see more from the Disc Golf Pro Tour with regard to next year's schedule.
We did see the announcement for that you and Matty O did.
Yes.
For the event down there in Louisiana.
The Big Easy. You got it. I was anticipating, and I'm going to break some news. I was anticipating that we would, in fact, see the schedule by today.
It'll probably come out tomorrow.
I think that's what we're going to see, hopefully, is that the schedule will be fully released by tomorrow. Now, don't hold me to that. I've got no one that I can really point to and make any bets or assumptions, or make any bets on it. Assumptions maybe, not bets. I eagerly await seeing the schedule for next year. And that may even answer some of the questions about what you were referencing earlier. Who are we going to see? Are we going to see anyone re-added? Knowing that a Jonesboro wasn't on last year, are they back? Knowing that we've seen an official break from the DDO/GBO from the Pro Tour. Had a big event this year that felt a little more old school, and if that's their priority or not. Well, I genuinely
are we going to be,
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Are we going to be gaining an event, or are we going to be swapping out an event for Louisiana?
Yeah, but Waco is certainly one of those conversations, or any of the 3 Texas events, right?
Yeah, I could see Texas states going away for a year. I don't think we're going to lose Waco. And
I only say that. The only reason why I utter such a phrase is because the Big Easy is on the 13th through the 17th, which has been traditionally the Waco weekend. When we've had, whether we started on the West Coast and then went to Waco, or we started on the East Coast and went to Waco, it's usually been a week break in between the 2 events. And then when we show up in Texas, it's at Waco. And this year, that's when we're seeing the Big Easy technically scheduled. Now, Waco could very well be the very next weekend for all I know. I genuinely don't know at this point. So it very well could be. But there is something to be said about this new event being added, and it's added on Waco's weekend.
Yeah, I clearly we don't know.
Waco's traditional weekend.
I know there's always been talk of Waco going to the second course, and
well, they did for a year.
Yeah, I know.
And then they brought it back from that this last year.
I know.
So
I literally I don't know.
What do you know? Did we talk last week about Las Vegas Challenge officially moving, or did that news come just after the podcast?
It must have come after the podcast because I haven't heard it.
Yeah, big news was late last week, then must have been after our podcast, was that the Las Vegas Challenge, which we've seen in what months?
Oh gosh, we've seen it in February, technically, into the first week of March. We've seen it
this last year in May.
It was in May? I couldn't remember if it was
May or June. Right around Mother's Day weekend in May this year. And there was some, conversation about where it could be and how it fit in. They made the big announcement on August 20th, so it must have been Wednesday. A major date change announcement to the 2026 Las Vegas Challenge presented by Innova. And they say to avoid many PDGA Tour conflicts, high school and college graduation ceremonies, and large events hosted in Las Vegas, like the Electric Daisy Carnival. We are moving the 2026 dates to Veterans Week in November. Formal play will be November 12th through the 15th of 2026.
Well, that feels like almost throwback to when it was the Gentlemen's Club Challenge. Like, or they always had the big Halloween event. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they have a big Halloween event. Is what they Halloween Classic has always been out in Vegas right around obviously Halloween. Late October. Yeah. So, but moving it to November 12th through the 15th, they go on to say this week should be about 10 degrees warmer than the February dates used in 2023, and prior airfares and hotel rates are expected to be very reasonable. Some may even say cheap. And we are coordinating the dates with the Las Vegas Disc Golf Club's historic Halloween Classic and other neighboring PDGA, state PDGA events. The LVC will be treated like a major event, 4 days, with a cut for the finals, all questionable OB roped, caddy books published well in advance, and then talk about registration and options and whatever. So nothing for nothing as an event that was the precursor for many years to the Memorial. Then was the precursor, as a precursor to the Memorial, was also still a precursor technically to being to the Pro Tour opening. Then was it a national tour for a year or two maybe? And then became the opener for the Pro Tour, to then not being on either tour, to now moving dates. I love the pivot.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not this November.
No.
Next November.
November, yes. Not because they've already had it for this year.
Correct.
Back in May. So I guess if you won this year, you get to soak in that Las Vegas Challenge, championship a few extra months. Because you got it in May, and now you get to hold it all the way till November.
Kelvin win that?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
It wasn't on the tour. I don't remember.
Ouch.
Ouch. Sore spot. I mean, it's a big, great event, but when it's not on the tour, it's hard to, it's hard necessarily to always stay on top of it. But I have made a big deal here. I do know that the club over there and everyone will work really hard on it, and that's why I was excited to make sure it got out there. But they made that announcement last Wednesday. So,
some news that kind of came out after our podcast last week. Kristen Lott announced she's going to be taking some time off, which no shock, not coming back until Throw Pink and the DGPT Championships. So that means she's missing D-Glow. She missed
Idlewild.
She missed Idlewild, but none of them played Idlewild. I don't think she ever was ever going to play Idlewild. GMC, MVP. So she's missing all three of those. She's going to come back for Throw Pink and the Tour Championship. She says, "Thank you to all who have been sending me kind and loving messages, and to all my sponsors for their unwavering support. My heart is filled with gratitude. I'll be taking a step back from the hustle for a bit. My goal is to return for Throw Pink and DGPT Championships. But before then, it's time to rest, heal my injuries, and regain some strength and clarity." Heart sign. So, as predicted, Kristen going to try to heal up, figure out whatever is physically and maybe mentally stressing her out, and come back hopefully stronger for Throw Pink.
I will just say nothing more than a guess or assumption for me would have been that she would have taken off Ledgestone, Idlewild, probably D-Glow, and then seen her come back for GMC and Maple Hill. That was nothing more than a guess of mine. We'll say 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, I think my guess was she'd come back for Maple Hill, but it's funny because I feel like there's something about her, because she's taken second place at Maple Hill.
Yeah, a couple times.
A couple times that maybe she'd want to go get that one, but then again, there's always the thought is maybe she doesn't want to jump in the pond, so she's skipping that. But,
that would have been my guess. Yeah. I 100% back whatever decision she's making for both her mental and physical health. I am not second guessing in any way, nor am I perturbed or upset or frustrated or anything silly like that. I am all about whatever she wants to do and needs to do, quite frankly. I'll just admit that I'm a tad shocked or surprised is maybe a better word. I'm a tad surprised that it's that late of a return. But again, skipping those 2 events gives her almost another 3 or 4 weeks before finally getting to throw pink. So I think it's awesome. We wish her the best of luck. More time to enjoy driving around the beautiful country of Estonia in her Porsche, because that's what I saw on Instagram today. So live your best life, slay queen, do whatever you got to do. I'm all about it. So
before we get to Paul, who's just joined us, did I see that Katie Tate got engaged?
That sounds right. No, maybe she already was.
Or maybe she was already engaged and she was just supposed. I thought I saw something, but congratulations either way. So
I know she's battling some sickness.
Swear to God, at first, and maybe it's a stereotype, I thought that was Silver Lot behind her, and I was like, what's going on? This is weird. But
there's a lot of good-looking men in Estonia.
That's my problem. I looked at that and I went, damn, Estonia, doing well.
They do it right over there.
They do it right.
All right. With that being said, speaking of good-looking men, not from Estonia?
Not from Estonia, but he's, what, before we bring him, should we talk about his beard? Is this the thing? I mean,
I'm not going to go there. All right. Welcoming into the show, one, Paul McBeth. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. My throat's a little dry from talking, but
you're not used to making these rounds anymore. You used to be.
Well, there's a low-key burn.
It's a backhanded compliment, right? You used to do this every week, buddy.
There wasn't 9 podcasts back then.
That's true. Shout out to us.
Shout out to the OGs.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. First and foremost, like you said, we understand you're running around doing a bunch of things and a lot more appearances, obligations, all sorts of things. And funny enough, I was communicating with some of your guys over at the Paul McBeth Foundation earlier in the weekend, and we were already talking about having you on tonight to talk about the Throw More campaign. So we're going to get to that in just a moment, and we definitely want to highlight that. But winner circle, blah blah blah. What do we need to know? What haven't you already said?
Yeah. Did they share that they told me, like, hey, you're going to go on SmashBoxx, talk about Throw for More. And I was like, well, what if I just win? Won't that be easier? Then it won't be as, like, this fake setup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Johnny said that earlier.
That's what I said earlier, that we come on, we have winners on. And so Paul just thought, if I'm going to go on, I have to win. So it just makes more sense.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have reached out sooner, Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
It's our fault. That's the SmashBoxx bump is real.
Have you not reached out to Paul for 2 years? I'm just saying.
No. Sees me after the events.
Oh, what a jerk.
Yes. Obviously an exciting weekend. One of the questions I'll ask, I believe it or not, I don't even want to harp on this weekend too much for you, but aside from the congrats, but did it feel as electric as everyone else is saying that it was? Perkins and Earhart and so many others and the fans around the world have talked about how exciting that this weekend and that final round was. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was really exciting because Gannon and I had separated ourselves from the field pretty much. I mean, it was 5 strokes, but like that didn't seem catchable for anyone. So it just really felt like Gannon and I going head to head. There's not too many tournaments that have that, in my opinion, and to where it's like someone that's so accomplished in Gannon's way, and dominant right now, and then someone who's had the career that I've had going head to head. It's a lot of the young players going head to head, and you're kind of just seeing how they take the test. But I've proven myself through my career, and he's proven what he could do in the last couple of years, and I think a lot of people were excited to see how the two of us would face off head to head like we did. And it did have its moments for sure.
Yeah, it certainly did. Of course, I largely saw a lot of the highlights, but it's been so much of the conversation, how exhilarating it all was. When people talk about Idlewild, one of the unique features is that repeating there, claiming another title there has been so difficult or essentially impossible on the MPO side. What does it mean for you to find success at that place?
Yeah, I mean, it's special. I feel like I've been leading that tournament many times, but I've only won it one other time up until this year. So I feel like my track record there's very good as far as placing well, or at least being in the lead or contention to win. But closing that tournament out is so hard, especially with 17. I don't know why, but that's definitely the hardest 17 to just birdie or stay out of that creek. I don't want to say it's one of the flukiest, but it is one of the flukiest 17s we have. So you can have 2 3-stroke swing so fast on that hole. But yeah, I don't know why it is so hard to have repeat winners there, and why we get so many new winners there. Or first time winners, not new winners, but first time winners.
Yeah, it says something about the course for sure. Okay, well then I'll quickly sidetrack to, would you rather play hole 17 here 3 rounds, or hole 17 from USDGC, if they could like take that hole and insert it instead at this course?
I guess it depends on the ruling on 17, but the shot at 17 at USDGC is way easier than the shot at Idlewild, because you don't have trees. Like, it's like throwing, they're almost a similar shot if you want to throw the forehand, like similar power. You just need to have a little bit more height at USDGC, but you have such a bigger landing zone at USDGC than Idlewild, and you don't have trees on the landing zone of USDGC like you do at Idlewild that are going to kick you to the creek. But yeah, because you can almost guarantee a putt every time at USDGC. Just
you could rack up the number so much higher at USDGC. You can,
because it's an island. Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's really the only difference.
So, as dumb as this question might sound,
and it usually is coming from Terry.
Is this in any way a monkey off your back? I mean, do you consider it that, or is this you just getting back on the saddle?
I would say it's more getting back on the saddle, but it's can definitely be seen that way as a monkey off my back, because I have been close this year to winning some tournaments. So it almost looked like a monkey on my back because I'm not winning, but I knew I just needed to be consistent throughout the tournament, and I would take one of these down. And I mean, Gannon played well this week. It's not like he didn't play well and I beat someone that, kind of struggled. This course doesn't see scores like we shot this week. Like, we could have won the tournament after the first 2 rounds most years. So it, we played well, and I'd like to look at it as getting back on the saddle, getting ready for some more wins and more competitive battles against whoever, Gannon, Ricky, Nicholas, whoever's up there, AB. I don't think I've battled head to head against AB at a big tournament. I have in the past, but so there's a handful of players I'd like to battle with on some of these big events.
So give all the young guns their chance to go up against Paul, just one at a time. At D-Glow, we'll get you and AB. At GMC, it's you and Nicholas.
Yeah, I think it's more fun going head to head like that, but it is harder when you have more people. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
fun is head to head, but it's harder when there's more people.
Does it feel fun at the time? Like when you're there, and I'm just looking at the final round on hole 8, Gannon sinks an amazing eagle. Do you look at that? Now, are you having fun when that happens, or are you more frustrated that he got a very good skip right up into the basket?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I still had 2 strokes. I wasn't too worried. I still had more strokes than when I started the round, so I can't complain. But it's not fun when you cut through and lose the lead outright. That's not fun.
Yeah, we saw that. It was a hair left, but that's to me that looked like a 90%er. Like 90% of the time that thing drops.
When it goes through the basket and there's still chains on the left side of the disc, it should catch.
And the funny thing is,
it was going super fast.
Yeah, I've always said you don't want to putt it at the center because you're always afraid of hitting that pole and kicking back. That just left or just right is the right spot to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
in my opinion, low left is ideal.
Yeah, for those baskets, most certainly.
Falling in. Well, let's take another tangent while we're there then. Have you had any input, as I know they're still working on things, did you personally have any feedback or input on the Disc Golf Pro Tour basket conversation, regulating, testing, blah, blah, blah?
I didn't do any of them. I didn't have any time for any of them, unfortunately. Yeah. So I don't know any of the new baskets or anything they tested out.
And I think they're still working on some of that. I don't believe there's anything officially public just yet. I know they want to get on top of that, and they're who knows where it's going to go just yet. But I guess I'll just ask: Do you have a preferred basket or two?
I like the disc catcher. I like the Innova one. I don't know what number they're on now. The Innova one, and those are definitely my two favorite. I don't like any cross chains. I'm not a fan of any cross chain baskets. Not a fan of the new one that Discmania came out with. I feel like that one, for some reason, that Worlds was not catching too well. But yeah, I think a lot of them have their flaws, but the top two are definitely the Disc Catcher and Chainstar. Or is it Chainstar?
Yeah, Chainstar Pro.
Chainstar Pro and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the Disc Catcher 28 probably is maybe what it's now called.
Okay. I make mine a 29. I just put one more link on and we're good to go.
And yet you make way less putts than everyone.
I mean, I keep trying to make it wider because I figure it's got to help.
If you put two baskets next to each other,
I'll find the center. I'll miss it right between them somehow.
I do think speed control should still be a thing. I think the baskets, if you hit them too hard, should still spit out. To where a lot of these cross chains, the goal of those is to not let something cut through or spit back. But like you should have to have some kind of speed control, which I had no issue with Mach 3s.
Yeah,
besides the poles were too big for those baskets.
I've said for years that you rarely see Paul McBeth complain about a spit putt just because the way your putts are usually coming downward into the basket. Yeah. And obviously we saw one this weekend where it was, higher than what I think I've seen you putt before, but in general, you're right. You putt with a lot of speed control just because probably your longevity and history with a lot of these baskets. You didn't grow up with the cross chains and the 28 chain. You had 10 chains or whatever they were back then. You had a pole.
Yeah, not many. You could see right through. Yeah, they used to have to put tape on the pole.
Yep.
I remember those days. You used to have the reflective tape.
I'm a big fan, and we're going to lose it eventually, I think, on the Pro Tour, where it's going to be down to just like probably 2, maybe 3 different baskets or whatever are most common. Mm-hmm. I had a conversation just a few days ago with someone about, I like different baskets at different courses. Obviously, you want them all to catch pretty good. You don't want, truly crappy baskets out there, but every basket provides a slightly different challenge, and I feel like every course provides a slightly different challenge. I'm okay with that, but what do I know? Yeah. So
I think kind of like what basketball does is someone sponsors the basketball, like Spalding. Spalding doesn't make anything, as far as I know, besides the basketball for the NBA. I think that's a licensing thing, and I think the Pro Tour should do that for basket as well, as long as it's a qualified basket. It doesn't necessarily need to be the sponsor of the tournament's basket.
Sure. Which brings a funny conversation up.
Manufacturers. Yeah.
Right? That brings up a funny, awkward conversation potentially, because you look at Steve Dodge, who made a deal with MVP for like a 10-year, $10 million deal or whatever the deal was with MVP. And then MVP was banking on, hey, you have one of the best courses in the world, or the best in the States. You're going to have a premier event here every year, with the assumption probably that their premier basket is going to then get played at that premier event every year. So it's funny how just the marketing and economics we have, right? Yeah, and that's a big for Steve to do that in a deal is pretty out there. To guarantee your basket will be there for 10 years. That's putting a lot of pressure or a lot of trust in the Pro Tour. Mm-hmm. To say, okay, no, you can use whatever baskets you want for the next 10 years, which even for us with the Supreme Flight Open, there's some things we won't promise, like something like that, we have a really close relationship with Discraft, but if Discraft isn't our title sponsor in some way, and Disc Golf Pro Tour comes along with other baskets that are what they're using, it's kind of what our hands are tied at that point. So I guess it's business at the end of the day, and it's a product, and that's what the Pro Tour wants. That's what the tournaments have to do. So,
can you give us a minor spoiler? Are we going to see the Supreme Flight next year? Is it going to be the tour opener again?
Yeah, I think that was already announced, right?
Was it? I don't know. They haven't announced the schedule.
It's 2 weeks before the Big Easy.
I knew it was the Big Easy. The Big Easy was second, but
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
I hadn't heard that the Supreme Flight.
Yeah, they announced them both when they announced the Big Easy.
I got the Big Easy announcement. I missed the Supreme
Somehow
Flight
you skipped to paragraph 2 then.
I watched the video,
Anyway.
so there was no article. I watched the video. Terry.
Everybody else will laugh at you now.
Yeah.
Paul
Well,
and I
that's
will.
fine.
2 weeks.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Perfect then.
Yeah. So
it
I
will
think,
be.
I think it's almost the same exact dates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the last day or 2 of February and into March.
Now, is there anything? I mean, I know there was a conversation a year or two ago with regard to tee pads and some of the turf out there, and there was just conflicting maybe ideologies or preferences.
Is this for the tour or for Supreme Flight?
Both. Like, wasn't there a conversation about, a turf that was liked or someone disliked or did like that, a turf that got installed, you guys switched turfs, whatever. I mean, what are those conversations like?
Well, it all falls down on the local club or the course owners or that stuff. Like Pro Tour doesn't really do much in that aspect, So we switched our turf because we weren't satisfied with how it performed. So we did switch our turf from year 1 to year 2, and everyone loved the new turf. We are tweaking some things on the course as far as making some new holes, some changes that I think will be better for spectators, players, and just coverage in general. So I think that's going to be like 3 or 4 holes tops. Sorry, I kind of forgot the question, but
things going on and how what the Pro Tour versus the TD versus you and Dylan as owners.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of moving parts for the Supreme Flight Open.
Yeah. A lot of it falls on us. I would say 90% of it, if not more, falls on the local organization, the course, and all that stuff. And Pro Tour is kind of just more of the show. So it is tough, but I get it. I wish we played on the same turf for every event or the same baskets or the same this or that as far as on a player standpoint, because then there's something that's consistent. But as long as the local organizations are running it and stuff like that, it's going to be really, really hard for that to happen. Unless there's money coming in somehow to where the Pro Tour is like, all right, here's the money, get these turfs put in. Here's this, these are we'll bring the baskets, So there's got to be a lot of money somewhere, and the Pro Tour has to be willing to put it towards that stuff, because it's tough to say, all right, we got 25 events. Here's $250,000 that we're putting towards tee pads only, assuming it's $10,000 per course.
Mm-hmm.
So just for tee pads alone.
Yeah, and my last point on all of this, as much as we're off on a tangent, is just even the conversation I had with some of our Pro Tour employees on the ground at Ledgestone. We were talking about the whiskers. And if you think about the pink bullseye whiskers, the green or blue or red or whatever, Circle 1 whiskers, then the blue Circle 2 whiskers, those getting sent to events, those either sent to events ahead of time or the Pro Tour showing up and installing those times every basket, you're looking at, 54-ish plus a few additional at Ledgestone alone. And then what's the cost of those? Are you picking up? Can you recycle those whiskers? Like that all adds up. And, and that's such a funny little thing. But even those little, plastic whiskers are so impactful for so many different reasons. So,
the expenses to run the event. Oh, sorry. One last thing. The expenses to run the event before like even payouts, well over 6 figures. So,
I mean, so many things that most people will never know or understand, whether you have a parking lot or permits or a shuttle to or from a parking lot. You're talking about all of your volunteers, all of your staff, some of which is paid, some of which is volunteer, just a million things to consider. And now, unfortunately, every person that goes and plays a C tier is looking at, wants Pro Tour standards when they show up. And I think it's great we're raising the bar, but sometimes these expectations are also a little out of whack. Kind of funny that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, the positives of having a Pro Tour is the course is typically going to be looking nice, after it actually has its inaugural season on there. The courses get manicured, and they tend to stay that way if people are showing up to play them. So there's the positive sides. But yeah, it's expensive. So, all right, we can move on.
No, all good. I guess I will just kind of then shift to the schedule, which Johnny and I were just talking about before you joined us. I'm hoping we see the schedule maybe as early as tomorrow, outside of the first two events, of course. Do you have any insight? Does the tour talk to any of the players about the schedule, what's added, what's dropped, or when this drops in the next few days, will this be, a surprise to you, the remaining events?
Yeah, I have no insight on the rest of the tournaments besides them asking if we want to be the kickoff again. Like I found out about the Big Easy when you guys found out about the Big Easy, So I know there's some staples, and I'm assuming they're going to be in similar time frames. But yeah, I'm not involved in any of those conversations on where the tour is going to be and when it's going to start. There are certain players that do know with the tour committee and things like that, or the Pro Tour players. I don't know their title, but there's a handful of Pro Tour players that have a say in a little bit of this, and they do know. But as far as the rest of us, we're kind of waiting as well.
Yeah, I would have lost a bet about the Big Easy because honestly, I thought we were going to do Supreme Flight, and then at some point it was going to go to Cactus Rock. Like that was my bet that's how the tour was going to start. Yeah. You'd asked me 2 years ago. I would never have thought about the Big Easy.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I think it's cool. No, I don't know. There's nothing as far as I know.
Not this year. Not this year.
SmashBox exclusive.
Yeah.
DGPT Silver Pro.
Paul hosting event at Cactus Rock the week after Supreme.
Yeah, they don't have Cactus Rock. They don't have the amenities yet. Electricity. Like we barely have electricity in Supreme Flight. I think at Olympus, like maybe in the next week or two, we might finally have power there. But they have a lot harder, bridge or hill to climb over there to get it. So we'll see.
Infrastructure challenge.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, let's move into what I feel like is the real meat and potatoes of
the tournament.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say actually the throw for more. Yeah. We've been talking about it lightly on the show. I think I've mentioned it the last couple of weeks. So it is good to get the details and maybe even a little bit of the background story from your perspective. Obviously, this is a Paul McBeth Foundation campaign, and what was kind of the conversation? Was this a couple of the guys, that are leading the foundation that presented that idea to you? Did this come to you one day because you think of other ones? How did this whole thing? First of all, explain it, and then how did it come up?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Before that, this is for the Paul McBeth Foundation. For those that don't know, the goal of the Paul McBeth Foundation is to get disc golf to places that are underserved, whether it's they've never heard of disc golf or have no clue what it is. Or they don't have the funds, or they don't have the equipment, or they don't have the knowledge on how to approach their parks and rec, or whatever they have, wherever it is around the world. And we've done some major cities in the U.S. We've done a handful of countries. We've put the first ever disc golf course in those countries. And yeah, we want to continue to do this. And the idea of Throw for More was not my idea. It was the team that is behind the scenes for the Paul McBeth Foundation. I don't know exactly who brought it up, but it's a great idea. And the goal is, if I think elementary school, middle school are really big for walkathons or jogathons. And the premise behind that is you sponsor, or I think the word is sponsor, but yeah, pledge. You sponsor a kid to see, you pledge money towards a certain person to do as many laps as they can. And every lap that they complete, if your pledge is $1 per lap, if they do 10 laps, you're pledging $10 to whatever charity that they're working for. But for disc golf, what we are doing is you can pledge whatever amount of money you can do. A penny, you can do 10 cents, 25 cents per, I believe it's per hole that you can pledge. Per hole that you can pledge. And those people can play as many holes as they want, and your pledge holds up to that. And our goal is 125,000 rounds for the day, which is September 20th, which is the Throw for More day that we're doing this. I unfortunately am only playing 18 holes on September 20th because I'll be competing in Vermont at the GMC. So if anyone wants to pledge someone that's going to play 18 holes, you can pledge for me, sponsor me for that. Or if you have a friend that's wild enough and wants to do a 24-hour discathon and see how many holes they can play in 24 hours, I'll jump on board for anyone who's willing to do as many holes as they can for 24 hours. Yeah, our goal is 125 rounds, 125,000 rounds. And the best part about that is every round, this all has to be done on UDisc, or tracked on UDisc. And the reason why is because every round that's completed, UDisc is pledging 10 cents per round. So they're stepping up. They don't have a limit. They just, however many rounds are played on September 20th, they are putting their money where their mouth is, kind of deal right there. So UDisc is really stepping up there. But I know, for example, like Olympus is going to probably have an event on September 20th, throw for more event, and get people to come and get as many people want to sign up and play. We'll have a shorter course designed to fit as many holes as we can, so people can get as many holes and as many rounds in. So we're going to try to do something fun with it at Olympus as well.
I know it's probably a little late as an idea popped in my head, but you talked about pledging your 18. I think it would be kind of fun for GMC to pledge the number of birdies, and you can pick any pro. James Conrad, I'm going to pledge $1 for every birdie he gets on those 18 holes, or something along those lines. Tie it into the event, because as you said, you can't. You're stuck, so to speak, only playing 18 holes. But I mean, there's no reason why someone can't make a pledge based on your round or any pro's round.
Yeah, I know you can make a flat donation as well.
Yeah. See which pro can raise the most money.
There you go. Zach had mentioned something to me about me possibly doing it, and all I thought is, I think I'm sitting in a booth in Bend for like 12 hours that day covering GMC, so I'm not going to be able to go out and play any golf that day.
You're 3 hours behind the event, so you'll have plenty of daylight still.
That's right. You wander over.
Just open the door for a minimum 3 hours.
We should go to the putting. We should go to the putting course at Bevel.
That's what I'm saying. You wander over to Bevel and just play 3 rounds.
It's on UDisc. It counts.
It is on UDisc.
You can at least get 20 rounds there.
Yeah. Okay. There might have to be a beverage pledge in there somewhere. I don't know. We can, maybe there's some math. Speaking of which, I just real quickly want to shout out people like Michael Sale. A few years ago, he played the Tiki course. He has the most disc golf holes played in a 24-hour period, which is 2,900. And it was this super short course. There's some video on it out there. Yeah. And I was thinking Alan Hansen Begg, who had played the most unique holes, had a record for quite a few years. 380 distinct holes played in 17 hours back in 2004.
Wow.
And that record stood until 12 years later when Dan Schneibel, who I think is also from Minnesota, played 417 unique holes.
Wow.
Yeah. So but they don't have to be unique. If you go out to your local course and you want to play the pitch and putt, that's 9 holes, and you're committing to playing through it 9 times for 81 holes in the day, get your pledges in and do it accordingly. Yeah. So
I wonder if we can talk to UDisc before this happens and see if they'll double up to 20 cents for any rounds completed on a Paul McBeth Foundation course.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's some programming and some math, but yeah.
Those guys listen sometimes.
Because there's only, well, not only, I'm not going to downplay it. There's what, like 20, is there 23, 25 McBeth Foundation courses now? You know?
I wish I knew the number off the top of my head. Between 20 and 30.
Yeah, something like that.
Because we're installing some every year, but also, yeah. But I know there's some in the U.S., like Chicago. We weren't too far away at Ledgestone. There were some people coming from Chicago, New York City. We have some in Mexico. Africa has a lot of them. Europe, Montenegro, Serbia, Mongolia,
Uruguay.
What? Yep, yeah. Uruguay. We have them almost every continent now. So.
Okay, I'm reading off I'm reading off the foundation website, and I'm nobody. Let's also be clear: as this is your foundation. You are not involved with the day-to-day, everyday nitty-gritty because it's not humanly possible. And anyone that thinks you have to be or should be is not practical.
This could be a full-time job.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And you have full-time,
yeah, there's literally full-time employees.
Full-time employees. But reading off your site, the site, 216 unique holes installed, 19 countries impacted, and this says 16 right now, but I think you guys it probably has to be even some more added to that. So absolutely awesome of what we're seeing. Maybe it's a silly question. Do you have an end goal? Is there any number of courses in your mind that if we fast forward 50 years from now, you're like, yeah, I'm glad my foundation put in X amount of courses?
I think as far as like something like that, I don't know if there's an end goal in courses, because I think I want this to carry on longer than I'm alive. Like I hope it continues to go for. I think there might be a limit for how many courses there could be in the world, but I would love to one day see some player from a Paul McBeth Foundation course or something that we've been a part of playing on the Pro Tour one day. I think that'd be a really cool thing to see. But the whole goal is to just like disc golf has helped me more than just the competitive side. You know, it's made me some lifelong friends. It's made me find an outlet to some of the struggles I've had in my life. So I think that's the ultimate goal with disc golf, is to bring this kind of outlet to people, not just the competitive side and things like that. So I think we can all find ways that disc golf has really helped us in our life outside of just the competition side.
Yeah, and I think that will happen for starters when you're putting in a course, and we're seeing developing countries, whether it's your foundation or just in general. I've had the pleasure and the honor of being in some of the the emerging areas of whether it's Cambodia or Thailand or anywhere there in Southeast Asia and the Philippines, and just seeing them go from a couple of courses to a handful, and then seeing someone like T. Vetney from Thailand at the World Championships this year. And, he's a 980, 990 rated player. Clearly, he's a great round away from being on a feature card or a lead card on a Pro Tour event. So all of that growth and development there's a path there, and you're accelerating that by providing so many more opportunities. What's without fully doxing you and your very busy schedule, is there a country or a project that either short-term or long-term, like you have in the back of your mind of like, I am really excited that I hope I can be involved with a course going in blank country or area? Is there a bucket list area for you right now?
I think the bucket list thing is to hit all 7 continents in some way.
Okay.
I don't know how we'll put one in Antarctica, but just one basket with the Paul McBeth Foundation logo would be a goal. And I think the only one we haven't done outside of Antarctica is Australia. So I don't know what we need to do to get there, but I think that's the last remaining continent that we haven't touched yet. And I know a lot of that land out there is not livable, I mean, it's indigenous, but a lot of it's tough. But I think that's the ultimate goal. There's so many countries that, like, I went to Montenegro a couple of years back, and I don't know if I would have gone. Not because I don't want to, but because it's hard to go everywhere. But the fact that foundation trip allowed me to go to Montenegro, see the culture, see that part of the world, it's special. So I think any trip that I get to go on is special. So it would be hard to pick one or say somewhere that I want to go because I just think the joy of disc golf and seeing these people learn something for the first time and actually, whether they've always won a course, like where was it, Colombia, they had disc golfers, they just couldn't get a course, and they're able to be a part of that. Guatemala, they had no clue what disc golf was in some aspects of Mexico too. So that's just, they're so different, but they're special in the same way. I think 7 continents is the biggest one for me.
Maybe I should pull an Avery Jenkins and start trying to put together a list of visiting or checking in on the McBeth Foundation courses. I think I've been only to 2 or 3 of them so far. And Guatemala, I mean, I think that was your...
Oh, you went to Guatemala?
Yeah, that was your second ever, project. and just incredible people there. You know, a sold out event on a beautiful piece of land in an incredible country. Like it's, just to clarify, you're all about presenting the opportunity and having these people get introduced to disc golf. That doesn't necessarily mean championship caliber. That doesn't mean big tournaments. That doesn't mean a Worlds or a Pro Tour stop there. You are focused on simply introducing it and seeing where it spawns from there. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, definitely. It's the growth. And I think you could look at kind of like the NFL Play 60. They're not putting NFL stadiums for these kids to play. They're putting parks and like 20-yard fields or 30-yard fields to introduce them to the sport. And this is kind of an introduction for a lot of these people for the first time, you know, and they get to learn what disc golf is, see what it is, and maybe they'll look on YouTube at some point and really see what the competitive side is. But it's not the end. Like our goal is to plant the roots of disc golf there and then let it grow. And whether that's them getting more courses and getting a pro caliber course one day, but they need to have the talent there first. So they just need to learn about the sport, grow the sport, and be a part of it. And then, you know, we're kind of just trying to plant the seed of disc golf in a lot of these countries and make sure it's sustainable. That's the biggest thing. Is we don't want to just put baskets where they're going to get abandoned and overgrown. We want to do this in a sustainable way. And you can kind of see what's going on in Africa right now is pretty incredible.
One thing that I want to touch on, and I think I still know this answer, but I certainly want you to clarify, as logical as it may seem that Discraft would be on board and support the foundation because of your tie and your relationship and your contract, you're also not exclusive to Discraft with the foundation. Correct. So can you just expand on what that really means, and if a company, whether it's a basket manufacturer or a disc manufacturer, what are some of the things, if somebody wants to get involved and support the foundation, that isn't what seems like, you know, the obvious tie to Discraft?
I don't know if you guys can help me here or pull it up on the website, but there's like different sponsorship levels. But there is, like, I believe gold level is the top one, but that's kind of what sponsors a lot of the projects. So like we've had Discraft, we've had Ledgestone, we've had Dynamic Disc, we've had Latitude, and they're kind of the ones that are donating the baskets and the discs for some of these projects. And some places only need baskets. They have discs. Some places just need the financial side. They have the disc golfers, but they don't have the money for the baskets because of, you know, the country that they are. It is not inclusive at all. I mean, it's inclusive to all brands, and it doesn't have to be a disc manufacturer either. You know, or a basket manufacturer like Ledgestone. They stepped up and they were a gold sponsor, and they ended up basically paying for baskets to be. I don't know if they were one that had the baskets built in that country. I don't know if they were the African one. They might have been. They might have been actually Guatemala. Or not Guatemala, another country in Central America. I'm blanking on it, but I think there's another project down there.
Yeah, I'll rattle off a couple.
Kevin Jones.
Oh yeah, over in Mexico, somewhere in Mexico, or
south more. How am I blanking on that? It was one I didn't get the chance to go to. If I had a map, I'd be able to point out easily.
Well, let's get not my.
It's not Ecuador.
I'm going through them.
Within the first 2 years.
Montenegro, Colombia, La Paz, Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Uganda.
Nicaragua, that was it. Yeah, I think that was a Ledgestone project. So anyone can jump on board. I'm pretty sure it's the gold level sponsorship. And there are, I guess, standards for what that entails and what needs to be done. But then there's all sorts of ways to where you can donate product, you can donate time, money, anything helps, because it is just all going to grow disc golf around the world in whatever ways we need. You know, some places, you know, like I said, Colombia, they already had the disc golf clubs and stuff like that. They just didn't have the funding for the baskets. They had the land, they just didn't have that, and we were able to help out there. Guatemala, it was beginning to end. And even having some people there to teach disc golf, because a lot of them didn't know what disc golf was. In Mexico, it was all the above. Um, but we had the land there to do it. So yeah, but it's all just beginner friendly and the growth of disc golf and hoping that this can grow to more. The first project in La Paz, you see a lot of the people that learned it are now teaching disc golf, which is really cool to see. And they found joy in that.
Yeah, I will quickly, I brought it up on the website, and I can actually link to it as well, just so everyone knows. I'll quickly run through them because I love seeing it on here. Listed as gold partners, like you said, doesn't have to be an actual basket manufacturer specifically, but people that have been listed as gold partners include Grip EQ, UDisc, Discmania, Ledgestone, Discraft, Jomez Pro, Disc Golf Pro Tour, Zuka, Dynamic Disc, PDGA Europe, Latitude 64, and Disc Store have all been listed as of right now as gold level partners. So I'll personally say thanks. And like you said, the assistance can come in a variety of ways and needs for what's going on in each of these individual countries. And I think my biggest takeaway here is just that it's not just Discraft and we love Discraft, but I think that's probably a small hurdle that people think, well, I don't know, or I'm not a big Discraft fan, or I don't like that it's all, Discraft doing it. It's not. Yes. You guys have been very, like you said, very inclusive
100%.
To involve anyone that wants to support it. And that swath of people and companies I just listed proves just that. So it's very cool to see.
And Discraft, I mean, they understand just like everyone else, the growth of disc golf is big. Like, if the sport of disc golf is growing, that means Discraft is going to grow. That means MVP is going to grow, or Latitude. Like, the more players there are, the more these companies are going to have the opportunity to grow.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. It's awesome to see, and I know you guys have had partners too, including like Uplay and PDGA in terms of teaching, sustainability, things of that nature as well. So, is there?
Uplay has been.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say a lot of touring pros have gone on these trips as well, so I'm thankful for them. Missy and Missy's been to a handful of them. Joey Tamale's been to a lot of them. You've been to a couple, and we've had, like I said, a handful of touring pros that have been a part of these, and I'm thankful for that, and hope we can continue to do more. And you mentioned, I think Southeast Asia. You mentioned. Owen came up to me a week or two ago and says she wants to do Laos. So we'll see if we can make that happen.
So. Yeah. Well, I would love to assist, knowing that obviously Thailand's right there, and I've been talking to people over there, and places like Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam is shown some interest. We see Malaysia. Great things are already happening as well in the Philippines. I mean, there's so much opportunity, and just talking to a gentleman the other day, Luke Butch, talks about the excitement of bringing a couple discs and a couple baskets into a school and watching these kids just explode with excitement, and knowing how quickly this can spread and be a lifetime activity is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
I fully agree.
UDisc, I don't know if we touched on it, but real quick, UDisc is donating then 10 cents for every round that is also played. So they're on board with this.
It's tracked on UDisc.
Yeah, that's tracked on UDisc. So make sure
you're
using your account out there on UDisc. The Throw for More campaign on Saturday, September 20th. So just make sure that you're getting it all logged there, so that UDisc can pony up an insane amount of money as well, which is very generous of them. And why are they so good to you?
Yes. The more courses they have, the more people they have subscribing, the more players, the more people are going to be on UDisc.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't know exactly, but and make sure go out and play, and see if you're going out and playing and your friends can't make it, or they have work, or they have whatever keeping them busy on September 20th. See if they'll pledge money for your holes, or if you have a favorite pro, pledge some money. Like I said, if anyone's willing to do 24 hours. Let me know. I'd like to pledge to anyone willing to do a whole bunch of holes. So
yeah, that As they're saying, little things will be a little bit cooler come September, and also really kind of one of the last days of summer. So I love the timing. I love the campaign. I love the idea of it, and hoping that it's going to grow and blossom into an annual thing for you guys.
Sounds like we're all going to jump on board for your putter course, Terry.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'll have to see if I can convince, Nate and Val, and we'll have to go over there and see what we can make happen at Bevel, because I know that is listed as a
maybe Nate can pledge a stout per round, and you just keep going, Terry.
No, then I won't complete very many rounds. I know that's the problem. I want to quickly shout out, as of this podcast here on August 26th, I'm going to say that I'm seeing Jeffrey Noseworthy of the Albion Hills Disc Golf Club in Canada is currently the individual leader with $575 pledged. Dustin Leatherman with the Sky Pilots has $554 pledged, and Fraser Neal, also of the Albion Hills Disc Golf Club in Canada,
they're killing it.
Is at $450. So those are our leaders on individuals as of today, and your teams, when you're looking at them, is the Albion Hills Disc Golf Club, as I just mentioned.
They're at like 1165.
Yeah. Lamona Disc Golf at 808 has 4 players that are off and running. And then, no surprise, Sarasota Sky Pilots has 6 members off and running, and they have 708 as a total. So just throwing out some numbers there for everybody.
Yeah. I'm going to tell Kevin to start the Olympus one. So
there you go.
We'll do something on September 20th. We'll have something there. I think they'll try to put some event together and some extra holes.
Yeah,
maybe 2 18 holes.
I was just going to say, and play the short course, right? Yeah, I think you're going to get more people to play more holes if they're on a short layout at that one.
Yeah, maybe we'll do 2 18-hole layouts there at the course.
Perfect.
Anything? We know the people running it.
There you go. Yeah. Aren't you
I got
kind
a
of
guy.
the boss of them?
I got a guy.
Yeah.
That's a few weeks out, but next weekend, or this upcoming weekend, a few days from now, is that a break for you? Is there business? Is there meetings? Is there travel? Yeah. What do you got going on?
I did the traveling, thank goodness. I'm down in Virginia right now. We're here visiting with Hannah's family, and then my brother lives here with his wife, and we had dinner with them before hopping on tour life and being over here. So I'm kind of dressed up a little with a t-shirt and my hair done, but yeah, so we got to visit with them, and we'll be hanging out. But I think Friday I'll be heading up to Michigan for D-Glow, getting ready, and obviously getting there a couple days earlier with Discraft and going through some things and whatnot. So yeah, it's a couple days off. Well, you know how disc golf days off are.
Yeah, especially for you, not really.
Site.
Yeah,
yeah, just not at a tournament site.
Any out of the ordinary obligations, releases, signings, comedians showing up, MMA stars, whatever. Anything
pictures?
Anything out of the ordinary for you at D-Glow this year?
Nothing that I know of. I just winning the Idlewilds. They do a champions disc, so I know there's that. Oh, there are disc drops. I know there's disc drops.
Yep.
For D-Glow. I did some approvals on some stamp designs and plastics and such. But I don't know of any. I don't know of any special people or anything like that.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything.
I just know it's busy.
They're keeping it under wraps.
Yeah, it's busy because you're, obviously this is as close as we get at any point. We're in Discraft's backyard, and so I know that usually just brings up a couple of unique scenarios and things.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, a few weeks ago you made a social media post saying how you're going to, more or less, you're dedicating harder than you have in the past for the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. What does that mean for you? Like, what are you looking at for the next 5 years that you haven't maybe done the last 3 years, so to speak, or the last 2 years, whatever time scale you want to look back on? How does the next 5 years look?
Yeah. So I guess within the last 2 years, for example, I tore my labrum after PCS at the European Open. So I was out for 8 months. So I played one tournament, which was Worlds, which I probably shouldn't, but I wanted to play it, and I rehabbed up until that point, and then after that it was another 6 months out or something, and getting getting it worked on, getting the stem cells, getting all that stuff. So I didn't have an off season. It was basically sitting around, and then Pablo was born that same year. So it was new father, all that stuff. And then, yeah, pretty much the tour was my off season. Essentially, it was just getting back into throwing and learning how to throw again, and getting into tour shape. I mean, not in shape, but tour shaped where you can walk the holes and do all that stuff and throw and whatnot. And then this year I kind of had an off season, not really as much as I wanted, but yeah, got into the year and was a lot better than the previous year, obviously. Um, and I've always just in my mind since I kind of started was I just always wanted the opportunity. I've wanted to give myself the opportunity to retire and just set myself up at 40 because I know athletic careers aren't forever. You know, you can have a day job and
Unless
work
you're own
until
Scoggins.
what is retirement. Well,
I said unless you're own
I don't know.
Scoggins. She's going forever.
Sure. No. Yeah, she can. You can. Yeah, you take care of yourself and whatnot. But you know, desk jobs. What retirement age is 65 or something. Athletic careers are much shorter than that. So you kind of got to take as much as you can and do as much as you can in a very small amount of time. So I've always just wanted to give myself the opportunity when I'm 40 to choose if I want to retire. I'm not saying that's what I'm choosing. I've always wanted that opportunity to say I'm done if I want. From the competitive side, I don't think I'll mentally be there, but my Pablo will be like 7 at that point, you know. And you guys have kids, you know, things get only more busy the older they get, and sports and stuff like that. So um, we'll see where things are at that point. But things might more than likely will slow down as far as tournaments I play, as far as touring the way that I tour. But you never know. You don't know what the tour is going to be like in 5 years as well. So um, I do want to push myself as hard as I can physically, as hard as I can, practice wise, and all that stuff. I'm not going to be playing 40 events. I'm going to be playing the tour. But yeah, I want to give it everything I can the next 5 years to that 40 mark. So that's kind of where I'm at mentally. And yeah, Pablo will be 2 in a few months, and yeah, I think it'll be a good time to kind of reevaluate things. But I just want to be a great, you know, I want to be a good father and I guess role model for him as well.
Was it
just show what dedication can get you?
Was it nice having him there when you won? Because they don't go to every event clearly, and you know.
No, yeah, and they weren't. It's Idlewild was wild. It truly was. They weren't supposed to be there. They were supposed to fly out Wednesday. They were supposed to fly out Wednesday to come here to Virginia to visit with Hannah's family, and I think they found out Monday or Tuesday that some of them weren't feeling well, and then maybe an hour or two before the flight, they found out that they had COVID. Her family did, and then so they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't go. And then on the ride back from the course, we went and played a little bit at the course. Pablo started puking all over the place. He just wasn't feeling well. So I thought maybe they shouldn't go on the flight. So he went down for his nap. Hannah stayed. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to go play some holes while he's sleeping. We cleaned him up, took his car seat out. Well, I don't think he was sleeping at the time. But I went back to the course. And I ended up getting rear-ended on the way to the course on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so I was in a car accident on Wednesday, which that's kind of like my first real car accident getting hit. I was just at a stoplight and the lady missed her brake. So it's just, it was the first time they weren't in the car, you know, so all these things that happened, and now they weren't going back to Virginia. They weren't in the car that time because he was sick that morning. And then they were able to be at the tournament. You know, it's just all these things that just happened. So it was really special to have them there. And yeah, you know, it's one of those things. It's meant to be, and I always believe, you know, things work out the way that they're supposed to work out. It's all God's timing. So I'm thankful that it all happened the way that it did, and it was meant to be that way. So,
you know, one of the things that's awesome to hear it how it all unfolded in order for certain things to align there for you. You've openly, said a couple of times about you wanted to, have your son, have Pablo see you win, so to speak, or have him win while, not just seeing you win previous years or events on YouTube.
Yeah.
You've done that. Obviously, a goal of 18th major is been on your mind. I assume you want to win more worlds, but where is your checklist now? Like what's left on the checklist for you? I don't imagine you have a bucket list, but how about what's next to cross off?
Yeah. Well, I mean, funny you kind of mentioned that. Is like Pablo was there for this win. When AB won 2 years ago, we were there to watch AB win his first, and Pablo started crying because the crowd was just so loud and he was just lost it. And then this time when he was there, Hannah and him came up and he was cheering with the crowd. Every time the crowd would like cheer and clap, he was yelling, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can kind of see it in the video. But it's just like that wouldn't have happened. If I won sooner, I would have just had a crying baby and it would have not been as special.
Uh-huh.
But yes, I would love to win USDGC, some more majors. 17 doesn't sound like a number that I want to finish at. Just I don't know, just doesn't have a good ring to it.
No.
So I would love to get a handful more before I finish playing. And I don't know. I feel like every tournament I sign up for, I want to win. So that's always been my mindset. And I feel like once I'm going to a tournament and I don't feel like I can win, I think that's kind of the time to stop and end. But yeah, I don't know if there is, like you said, a bucket list or a list at all of what I want to win. Oh, actually, no, there is one. There's one. If disc golf does make the Olympics, I don't want Gannon representing the U.S. I want to be representing the U.S. I told him that after Idlewild. I said, that's my goal coming up, is I have a year and a half or whatever it is to take his spot. So that's a goal I have.
Wow. Well, yeah, what a
it would only seem fair, honestly. I know he's the number one player right now, but the longevity and whatnot. If disc golf made the Olympics, maybe they get back into the Olympics. He could go then, but it feels fair that if you wanted it, you could get it. But I know Gannon would fight for it.
I'll earn it.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to like legit wrestle it away from him, because
that's fine.
Right, like all the numbers say he should have it, right? Yeah. Like, and you're admitting that right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
But
okay.
That'd
be something funny to fight for. Speaking of fighting for things,
do you think he's going to get to your rating? You think he's going to hit 1062?
62. I don't know what it takes, but I don't know what he has to shoot, but there's probably a good chance. Yeah.
Okay. I know he's averaging pretty well. I think he had done some maths and he had to average 1067 over the next 12 or 13 rounds or something like that. And I'm not here to sit and math it out because that's just
I ain't no botanist. I can't figure that out.
I do think now it is a little bit easier to get your rating. I shouldn't say it's easier to get your rating higher, but I think when I hit that mark, it was every 3 months or 4 months that the rating would come out, and now it's every month. So it's easier to see kind of the trajectory. So, I mean, you still got average 1063 or whatnot to break it. But I think it's possible to break it.
Quick side note on records then. Last year, unfortunately, you broke this streak of getting wins on the Pro Tour, Elites or Majors or whatever. Obviously, you then pick one up this year. Right now, the person that then kind of slid into that spot as the longest streak, of course, is Ricky. Rick wasn't even at Ledgestone. At Idlewild, which somewhat surprised me, but that's another story. He wasn't even there. Obviously, time's running out for the rest of the year. I mean, there's only so many more events for all of you. He's a teammate now. He's also been, your number one competitor for quite some time, and you've had this great rivalry. Is Rick's in real trouble of also having that streak end, isn't he?
Yeah. I heard through the grapevine that he's hurt, and it's more of a hand or wrist issue. than anything. So I don't know the details. That's just what I've heard. I don't know how much of it's true, but I heard he was off getting work done, or he was getting looked at. That's why he wasn't at Idlewild.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense because, you know, I know some of his affiliations and ties to, you know, the area and people and LWS. And I just admit I was totally shocked. And instead he was, you know, out closing down nightclubs. No, I'm just kidding. That part I'm making up. But he was out doing other things.
So I've heard, yeah.
No, I'm not making up any drama this time. But he was just not there, and that was surprising to me. So, interesting. Anyway,
he was posting he was in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Long ways from Kentucky.
Yeah, and just the fact that this streak that both of you have had, you know, proves. Well, maybe I'll ask you instead of me just saying it. What is those streaks for either of you coming to an end potentially? What does that say about the state of disc golf right now?
It's very competitive. I mean, Gannon's obviously winning a lot. Last year he won a lot. This year he's winning not as much. He's still got a chance to win a similar amount, but what's he have? 4, 5 wins or something like that?
I don't even keep track anymore.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but
a lot.
Yeah, a lot of unique winners. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that. Like, I mean, there's a lot of players winning. I don't know. I guess it's good for disc golf. You know, that means you have a lot of players that are very talented. But it doesn't seem like many are, if you're just going off ratings, many are getting past that 1045 barrier or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gannon's up in the 1060s, but we've seen players at that mark for a long time. You know, even Klima was there. So it just seems to be that point that people get to and they just never get above it, really. There's been, 5 players ever over 1050, I think, or less than? Rick, myself, Gannon.
Eagle, maybe?
Yeah, Eagle.
Calvin?
So,
or 1050 or 1060? 1050.
1050. 60, it's only been Gannon and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like everyone gets to a point and they kind of just plateau. So maybe we'll see more push through that mark. And then I think we'll have a real conversation about where the talent level's going.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly is fun to watch. Probably some weekends more than others for depending on whose fan club you're part of. But it definitely has been fun. And this weekend rejuvenated a lot of fans. And one of my favorite lines that I saw on Facebook is someone say, what Paul's doing this weekend is something that we were very used to for a long time. And I kind of love that sentiment. Like they were saying, basically, if you're new around here, this is what we, grew accustomed to seeing from Paul week in and week out in terms of solid play through and through. And I thought that was a great sentiment. It was exciting.
I'm going to sound, I don't know. I saw a lot of McBeast is back.
Sure.
Did it feel like McBeast? Because it didn't, to me, it didn't look like McBeast Paul. I've seen McBeast Paul play. I've seen that.
That's like another level.
It's like felt like another level back in the day. Like you could see Paul, something flicked in Paul, and I didn't see that. I saw you playing really well consistently this week, but it didn't seem like that you hit that 6th gear, so to speak. Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah, or was this the McRib back?
This is McRib back.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like the big difference would be like, I think there was 5 holes at Idlewild that I didn't birdie one time, and I think the difference would be like I'd be making an adjustment and getting those in some way, but for some reason I couldn't get them. So there was only really 13 holes that I was birdieing the entire tournament. So I could see that to where there's not in the past you wouldn't be like, oh, okay, this is a par for him, or this is a par, or me throwing some of those pour up shots on a hole where I can gain 3 strokes on one hole. So I think those are things I wouldn't have made back in the day. But I definitely have those moments now that I'm learning from. Like I do remember stepping up to that shot and what made me miss that, 7 out of 10 gap. So I do know what to adjust the next time I'm in that situation. So it's, I did take a long time off of competitive play, and you do lose a lot. So I have to relearn some of these things.
Always learning,
yes,
always growing and improving is what it
Yes.
sounds like.
And I will say, battling against Gannon this week it did have that kind of feel of when I used to battle against Ricky. So hopefully it does start a rivalry where I get a battle against him a lot more, because it was fun. We had our mistakes, and that's kind of the pressure that comes with those moments when you're just going head to head compared to a couple people. But yeah, I hope we have more battles like that. And I'm not going to win all of them, but I'm going to give my best to win all of them when we do have those moments. So we'll see. I don't feel like physically. I feel like I can perform the same way as I did 10 years ago. I don't feel any different. I don't feel like my game's lost anything besides a little bit of consistency that I'm still working on to get back.
Yeah.
All right.
It's interesting to see some of the form changes, some of the tactics change just a little bit, whether it was the left, plant foot wiggle or holding two discs or the way you come through and used to touch, the disc to the other side and you don't, or where you keep your left arm, like all of those little subtleties, your putting stroke, the way that it's evolved throughout the years. It's like, it's been really interesting to watch, but I think that's again, all part of your overall growth and evolution and just trying to always grow and improve. And it's, I don't know.
And there's there's always been those adjustments, but you can always tell my style or my form. It's always had a similar feel and look to it, but there are these little subtle things that have changed through the years and even through the season, working on different things. But the biggest thing I do recognize from back then to now is back then I would just see the gap I want to hit and throw it, and everything was timed perfectly. Now I need to have a little cue on my timing on what to do, to where I want to get to the point where I don't have to think about that. I can just see the hallway I need to hit and throw it, and not worry about the timing. Like my body's going to go where I need it to, and that's the little consistency that I don't have. Which, I hit that tree on that hole that I par where I could gain 3 strokes, to where I don't have to think about that little timing. I'm hitting that gap. So that's the little bit of improvement I need to, go from these 3rd, 4th place finishes to have a handful of wins this year, compared to a handful of 3rd or 4th places.
Well, we're here for it.
I'm here for the ramp up. If this is the start and you're only going to get better, I'm really excited for it.
Yes. All right. Well, with that, we're going to close you out. You've had a super long and busy not only day, but obviously PR campaign here for the last few days with everything going on. Everyone, I put it in the chat more than once, but of course, paulmcbethfoundation.org is a place to go, or more specifically, you can head right on over to Throw for More, and that will get you there as well. I'll put that in the description of the actual video. Find your people to pledge for you. Find a course. UDisc will put 10 cents out for every single round that is tracked on their platform on the UDisc app. So make sure you're utilizing that and getting all on board. And last question that I've got for you is, when I had to dig deep on at bedtime to get ready to put the girls to bed, it was PJ Funny Bunny that did it. So the question for you is, what's the bedtime storybook that's your go-to with you and Pablo?
Well, the one that's usually the last one is Goodnight Moon. That's the one that's, he'll say moon, moon, and that's when you know it's time. But he's got probably a pile of 4 to 6. He really likes books, which is a good thing because he learns a lot of words because of that. But Goodnight Moon is usually the last one before he goes down. But
well,
he is a late night snacker, which is we need to get off that. That's the tough part.
I knew I love that kid.
I don't know where he gets that. Yeah, I don't know where he gets that. But
I've heard some stories. I know where he gets it.
I love it. Well, Paul, thank you so much again. Congratulations on an incredible performance, but the rest of the world is also equally excited about what you and your entire team and the foundation is doing. That's going to continue your legacy long beyond your competitive days that you're in the midst of now. And I think that's equally as powerful, if not more, as we're saying, in terms of the overall growth of the sport and the legacy that you've been putting out as a great ambassador. So we appreciate everything you're doing, the love you're spreading, the joy, the introduction to the game that's going literally around the world, thanks to you and your team and the support of all the partners of the foundation. And it's awesome to see. So thank you for shedding a little more light on it tonight. And we love the win, but I think you're winning, like you said in your interview with Grant, you're winning in life, and we're here for it, and we're big fans, and we always love you joining us and doing everything you're doing out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you guys so much. And just one last thing. I mean, I've gotten so many messages, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, text messages, way more than I can respond to, and more than I've ever gotten than any Worlds or anything like that kind of wins. So I appreciate all the support and the love that I've gotten. I'm trying to get back to as many people as I can, but might take a week or two to get back to all of them. I was lucky to find your message, Terry.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad I'm somewhere. I'm somewhere in the list. I'll take that as a compliment, but thank you. Well deserved, all the love and the congrats that you're getting, as you should. And the entire disc golf world and community is ready to see you playing at the level we know you're capable of, along with that consistency you speak of. And disc golf's going to be even that much better when you're right there in the mix with it, week in and week out. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good night.
Good night, Paul.
Good night, Moon.
Thank you.
Good night, Luna.
Good night, Moon. Good night.
Paul McBeth is back on SmashBoxx.
He's running the table. He's winning every event from here on out. Mark the tape.
No one's marking any tapes. Well, I told you this before the podcast, that there are in a lot of corners of the internet. I mean, I do feel like this weekend, it felt like almost everybody was rooting for Paul. And for many reasons. One, I think people want to see Paul win. I mean, there are some people that are playing our sport or watching these days that never got to see McBeast, that never got to see. I mean, they can see it in Jomez, but it's different. It's not the same going back and watching it versus the feeling you get when you're watching it live. And we're not just talking 2015 McBeth, which was that in 2019. Mm-hmm. There was 5, 6, 8 years of even if he didn't win, he had that Sunday Tiger effect where if he was within 8. People were tuning in.
People are like, well, Paul could still win.
Yeah.
Like literally within 8.
Yep.
They're like, Paul could still come back and win this. He could go beast mode and he could still win this. Yeah. And we were saying that. And it's been a long journey before, finally at one point, the network and the injuries all caught up and we're like, okay, he doesn't have that factor every single Sunday anymore, every single final round anymore. And self-admittedly, obviously he's fallen back a little, but you're right. Does this quiet a lot of haters? No. Any haters?
Oh no, haters. I thought you were gonna go to the dumb goat question.
No, I don't give a shit about that.
I said this before the podcast to you, that there are so many people that root against Gannon Buhr for multiple reasons, whether it's his slowness or just his freakish consistency to win, and people don't like to watch it. Mm-hmm. We kind of saw that when Paul was in his prime, that people started rooting against Paul
for sure
because people just were so sick of seeing Paul win, and we're the coin is flipped now, so to speak. But the rest of the year, I literally told somebody I'm rooting for two people. I'm rooting for Paul McBeth because I always like to watch Paul win. There's something special about watching Paul win, and Gannon Buhr because I like to go against the stream. I'll be okay if either one of those guys wins. But it would make me smile just to watch all the people just get upset if Gannon ran the board. Now, granted, no other player, including our guest, wants to see that. I would also be okay with Paul running the board. So let me put that out there. But there are so many people that root against Gannon now that it feels like almost counterculture to root for Gannon. So that's kind of where I'm at in my disc golf. tend to root for most players. Like, I don't usually care who wins. I want to see 90% of the time, I want to see the best story. And at Worlds, Owen Scoggins was the best story. Ida had a great story, but Owen doing the Masters and the Worlds and her age and this and that, to me, that felt like the best story.
Sure.
So I always root kind of for the best story to win. And Paul this weekend was the best story. It's just his comeback, finally getting that win after 2 years. But
first repeat champion at this event.
Exactly. But there's something in me that just I want to see more people upset. I want to watch Gannon. Like, let me put it this way: when he wins, I want him to crush. I want him to win by 7 strokes. Just make it boring. Like, that's what I root for. Yeah, I'm evil, and I know it. So, but it's so much fun to watch Paul win, and I do root for him because he's such a great winner in general. And there is something special about a Paul McBeth win, regardless of when it is.
Well, they're definitely getting tougher, as he was saying. You know, the unique winners, the people that we're seeing out there, the fact that there's a lot of players on a lot of weekends that are just a few bad holes away from being right there on the top of a podium as well. There's some consistency with the people that eventually take it away, but there's a lot of players that are just a couple of bad holes away from claiming a title here and there. So, well, thank you to Paul. Thank you to the Paul McBeth Foundation. I am not paid or in any way compensated or anything like that from the foundation, but I do frequently speak highly of it because I have now been part of an install, and even before I was part of an install, but to have firsthand experience of going to this, to Uruguay, having part of an install with the project and the team leads and all the people that worked even harder, way harder than I did, the setup that went into it, and to know that's happening at all of these sites around the world is just absolutely incredible. So I'm a super big fan. I love that the PDJ and other organizations partner with the McBeth Foundation. And to be fair, if there were other foundations with anyone else's name on it that was doing the exact same thing, I'd also be a big fan of that. It is just such an incredible effort. And if you can't do any of the special raffles or giveaways or promos or anything that else is tied to them, you can buy some merch on the site that supports it. You can become a Founders Club or a Builders Club person. That gives contributions regularly. There's a lot of different ways you can run an event that then also benefits the foundation. So if you think, the Throw for More campaign isn't something that's possible for you, and you want to find some other way, there's also plenty of other ways to still support the overall mission of the foundation. But this is a fun, unique way for them to do it as well. So I love seeing it, this Throw for More campaign. So I think it's going to be an annual thing. Especially after this first year of building and seeing, what is successful about it and how they can improve upon it. I know they're looking forward to making this an annual campaign, and I'm here for it. Should be awesome. So with that, let's close out the regular show. We've had plenty of chit chat, and I don't know how much more we have for the after show, but we'll find something.
I got a short story.
Great. A short story. Is this about me?
No. You are short. No, it's not.
I'm not short. I'm considerably shorter than you, but I'm average.
Not for the U.S. Maybe worldwide.
I'm almost exactly
Good night,
average
everybody.
height for the U.S. And I don't care even if I was below average. I'd make up for it in weight. I don't know how that works. All right, everyone.
Pound for pound, the best podcast on the internet.
This has been SmashBoxxTV Podcast 570. Big thanks to Paul McBeth. Of course, congrats to him. Congrats to Owen Scoggins. Congrats to our AM Worlds winners. And next week, we'll dive more into the Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championship, where we'll have a bigger, deeper dive on that as well. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have the after show where, believe it or not, things can go off the rails. Get active in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking, or any questions or stories you have for us. We'll read it in the chat. We'll interact with you there. For Johnny V, I'm the Disc Golf Guy. That's 570. We'll see you in the after show when you step inside the Smashbox.
Thank you to our $2 and above patrons. Your name is listed below in the credits. If you are interested in being listed as a producer in the SmashBoxxTV credits and supporting this and other fine podcasts, please visit patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to SmashBoxx TV Podcast 570's After Show. Average heights for men based on country and region. It looks like men in the Netherlands have the tallest average height of 6 feet 0.4 inches. So basically 6 feet and a half inch.
Which would make, I'm Dutch.
In the Netherlands.
I'm 6'6".
Australia 5'10", Canada 5'10", United Kingdom 5'10", Jamaica 5'10", China 5'9", South Korea 5'9", Brazil 5'9", Fiji, Egypt both 5'8", Kenya, Mexico, Afghanistan.
Wow, U.S. really kind of down on that list. Bunch of shorties here.
I'm okay with being average height.
You can be average height. That's fine.
I definitely look considerably shorter next to you for the last 20 years. 20 plus, yes.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Anyway, welcome in. This is the after show.
This is known as Terry's defensive time.
No, I don't even care.
I know you.
I'm
freakishly tall, so we all know that. It's kind of a freak.
Yeah. So there. And it's funny because every time we go somewhere out in public where there's other disc golfers that you maybe haven't met, usually oh my gosh, you are tall.
It's
right? That's the first thing everybody says to you. It's like, you're even taller than I thought.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So at any rate, a little news that is now newsworthy-ish. Not really.
Okay.
I'm excited that I'm officially looking to compete this weekend alongside one Johnny V.
Oh, are we
then
both?
we'll see who's taller. Okay, maybe not.
I don't think it matters. But yeah, we're both going to compete.
If I stand on a stump out there, which I'll be able to find, I could be taller than you.
You are the stump.
Not funny.
Yeah, we're both competing in the same event this weekend.
Yes,
for the first time in many years.
Oh, yeah, when was the last time? At any event, because obviously, oftentimes, I am working most weekends. For a while, you were working quite a few weekends as well, from a live production standpoint. Occasionally, you would have off a weekend, and you'd be able to go play in a local event. And I was still frequently working. But yeah, I wonder when the last time was that you and I even were able to play. So we're playing in the 31st annual Northwoods Open at Sandy Point Resort and Disc Golf Ranch. Found at sandypt.com. Northern Wisconsin.
We'll collect our advertising fee this weekend.
Yes.
Just send them a bill. Just show up each of us with a bill for like $480.
I mentioned your place 43 times on the podcast in the last year. No, Mike and Michelle Cousins, Cozzens, Mike and Michelle Cousins, owners of Sandy Point Resort, and have created one of the finest disc golf destinations on the planet. You've heard us talk about it. You've heard me rave about it, specifically for not only just here on the podcast, but of course also in post-production. I've made plenty of references to it. It's hosted a team invitational tournament for 25 of those last 30 or so years, and called the Sandy Point Team Invitational. It used to be called the Upper Midwest Team Invitational. And just an all-around awesome place. The Pro Tour is not hosting an event this weekend.
It's kind of weird. I know. I looked.
Sometimes they have, sometimes they haven't. There is the CCR taking place over in Michigan, which is where you're going to find, if you're going to find top-level pros that are normally at a tour event, the ones that are still playing this weekend will be at that one in Michigan. Of course, next weekend is the D-Glow, so you're already in Michigan. It makes perfect sense. The timing-wise, quite a few great players are signed up. Owen Scoggins, who just won Idlewild, I know is signed up to also play at the CCR.
Shocking.
So should be a really good time. Is it a silver QRSTUV event or something?
It might be
on the Pro Tour.
It might be a Q event.
I can't keep them all straight anymore, but it might be a Q series event even. So that's where some of our pros will be, and some pros will just legitimately be taking off. So, we'll see. But Sandy Point Resort, traditionally played as a 27-hole course there's a couple of different tees, a couple of different pins, but 2 rounds of 27 that will be now. I've not. Maybe I did play it in COVID. 2020 might have been the last time I played. Was able to play.
It's not much
tee
different.
times, tee times, but 27-hole course on a course that can be described generally as on the shorter side and technical. If it's in the longest pins from the longest tees, it definitely has a little bit more meat to it.
Which you'll play.
Sure.
You'll play on Sunday.
But generally speaking, this is a very wooded technical track. There's not one hole where you can throw it as hard as you want without the fear of hitting a tree or a dozen trees. Like the closest one, 15 out there.
27.
You still could hit trees, I guess, but yeah, you're right. You're throwing out over a lake to one of the most dangerous peninsula greens in the world. But you're right. That would maybe be the one. But if you throw it too hard, you're going to land in a bunch of trees.
You haven't been there. Those trees are gone.
There's nothing behind the basket anywhere?
There's like nothing behind the. I mean, there's maybe some scattered.
So is that safe? Is that in bounds back there?
It depends. I'm not exactly sure. But yes, I believe it is. It was very swampy, I believe, last time we played too. So
I like swampy.
I know. You're
more ways than one.
You're a swamp.
Okay, but anyway.
But yes, you're right.
You're throwing out over a lake for 350 feet then, if you're not hitting a tree on that hole.
Yep.
It is otherwise, yes. There's a couple holes that obviously have a few less trees, but it is by and large a very, very technical track.
Yeah, that first round you will throw more mid ranges than anything else. Second round there will be some drivers that come out, but overall, I think I think they're playing the originalish, shortest course. I don't exactly know what the setup is.
I have no idea what.
I'm just going to show up and then I know where the basket is. I'm going to throw a disc towards it.
Yes.
I'm not necessarily going to end up near it, but I'm going to throw it towards it, which is a start. So
that is taking place this weekend. This is going to be one of the largest Masters fields I've ever been of 37 players.
Maybe.
It's a sizable field.
It is.
Many of these players, of which I've grown up with and or used to play with on a regular basis and haven't now played with in many years. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing this weekend. It's really unique in that there are cabins on site. There's about 6 to 8 cabins overall that are then rented out to tournament players exclusively for this given weekend. Normally it's rented to full capacity almost every other week of the year, but this weekend it will be all the cabin spots, which will hold 100-ish.
100 players-ish.
100 to 120-ish players among all of the cabins that are available. Probably not that many, actually, roughly. And it's just one of
legally or illegally? Like, does that mean?
Yeah, no sneaking around. It is one of the most unique pieces of property that's out there, and also home of the Wisconsin Disc Sports Hall of Fame, also with a rec hall. Yeah, just a really, really fun place to be. And if we're going to really bring this up to speed for everyone else out there that maybe is newer, 10 minutes west of where Adam Hammes grew up and learned. And this was kind of one of Adam's premier learning grounds was this course. He grew up 10 minutes east of it, of where we're going to be. But this is in his general neck of the woods, which is northern Wisconsin. We ain't too far from Canada in some ways. So that's where we'll be.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. We're... So are you just going up by yourself? Just going to...
Don't worry about it.
Driving? Okay.
I have chartered... The Pro Tour, of course, chartered me a jet.
Oh, they would.
Yeah. As if there'd be a place to land up there.
You have to get that DD helicopter, maybe land on the raft.
That would be a good idea. I'm working on the details. Okay. I may be going up roughly the same time as you.
Okay.
However, on my return, I may or may not be visiting my father at his property.
Okay.
Who's also in that kind of general vicinity of the state.
Yeah, I'm taking off Thursday and Friday from work. We're gonna head up sometime on Thursday. Might hit a course on the way up. Maybe my driver is gonna get a haircut. I'm not sure yet. That was on the agenda that he sent me. Like, stop halfway there and get a haircut. Okay.
I talk about like having this goal of getting haircuts in random countries, and he's like picking different counties in Wisconsin randomly for no good reason.
I don't know why he's picking whatever of all things, and he's probably just gonna get like a number 2 or something dumb, like
just everything buzzed.
Just everything buzzed.
Something you and I could do for him.
I could do it while he drives, for the love of God, which would be great.
I think you should. That would be way better content.
Just sneak up on a. Someone said mosquitoes ? Yes, we are going to be fighting the mosquitoes.
What? I thought they got rid of them since I was last there.
One of our shared cabin members is on the board. He says the intel says that the bugs are not bad, and it has been cooler the last few days. Almost to, I know it sounds silly, but almost to a chill at night for some places. So hopefully that maybe will kill off some of the mosquitoes, especially further north, being the 3 or 4 hours north that it's going to be. Yeah. So
I put on long sleeves last night, like a long sleeve shirt. Actually, my Pro Worlds LL Bean shirt from a couple years ago, and it felt good. It felt good. It was the first time I've had long sleeves on, in forever. And I put on jeans actually for a minute last night. It felt so good. Mm-hmm. I haven't had pants on.
He doesn't have pants on now.
Wait, I haven't had pants on probably in months. It feels like, and it is nice. There's a good chill. Actually, I saw something about some swirling Arctic something or other is actually down from Canada right now, and that's why we're experiencing even slightly lower than normal temperatures.
Yeah, we're about
and it's swirling.
8 to 10 degrees cooler than we would normally be this time of year.
Mid to low 60s. Something chubby guys like. Low 60s. So I'll take it. So looking forward to it. Ed asks, will we get an in the bag video for Terry and Johnny V's bag? I mean, that sounds like some great social media content that we need.
I don't have a bag. I have a cart.
I'm perplexed as to what I want to use for a bag this weekend.
I've got some hanging there. Would you like to use that Green Revolution bag?
Oh, okay. If we're going full 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, you go a little newer. You get the DD flag bag.
Yeah, I think I have one of those in storage that I didn't bust out.
I believe if you dig behind the TV over there, there is the AM World's little tiny red and white bag.
Yeah, I see it actually. That's right there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You could always go with
2007 that 2007 AM Worlds. Ouch, too soon, Paul.
You're awkward.
McBeth,
you always got to bring that up.
McBeth, who took second at that AM Worlds here in Milwaukee. 2007.
And look, it's never been the same.
What's he ever done? Yes, we see
what it could have been.
Bob Goike. Wait. Bob's saying he's get the master bedroom. I was told that me and Johnny are sharing the master bedroom. Bob. And unless you have a podcast that says otherwise, we win. We win. Okay, that is great. I'm glad you get that bedroom.
Yeah.
That I used to sleep in. Anyway, should be fun. Looking forward to it this weekend. What's our side bet?
Oh, we have a side bet? I
think the internet wants a side bet. Maybe the internet should make the side bet for us.
What should the side bet be?
I mean, we're only a few points off of each other.
Yeah, we're both.
We've both played 6 to 10 rounds of golf this year.
Yeah, it's about
roughly.
Right. Yeah.
We got to have some kind of fun side bet.
We'll have to get that figured out.
We could bet on your wet carpet.
The carpets aren't wet right now.
Oh.
Who
has to haul it away?
No, we power washed all those rugs that are outside on our fence today. We washed. My son power washed them with some Dawn soap. Sprayed it into the power washer, sprayed them down, and they dried out. And we're gonna have to get them in the house by tomorrow afternoon when it's supposed to possibly rain. So that's not what I'm looking forward to here. But so we're gonna get those in the house after our little flood. But with the side bet, I don't know. What's the over/under par for the weekend? A good first round. I'm trying to think of what last year's scores were. I think a good first round will put you in the double digits. As well, a good second round, obviously, if you're firing on all cylinders. But second round, let's just say that my second rounds have not been good to me at Sandy Point the last few years. So I don't know. I'm usually happy if I've been hitting par lately overall. So.
Yeah, I was just gonna look at some of the maybe some of the stats from from last year, Kale Leviska. Some of you have heard of him.
Is he playing this year?
He is playing this year and is thankfully playing pro MPO
Yeah,
instead of in MP40.
Well, he won MPO last year. He should have to play MPO until he doesn't win.
Yes.
It's just the rules.
Yes.
Stay out of MP40 there, Kale.
Yeah, nobody wants you we don't want you in MP40.
We do not
Kale.
like you in MP40.
I will cheer you on in MPO. So Kale last year, just for reference, assuming we play same layout, Kale shot 28 under over the 2 rounds of 27. So he averaged
14.
Yeah, averaged 14. So let's see. A par was 82. So first round he shot a 15 under, and then second round he shot a 13 under.
Yeah, which is really good
on a much more difficult course.
Yeah, which is really again the second round is lengthened out. Like the first round, I think I will be happy. Well, I'd be happy with almost anything at this point, but like the goal for me is about 6 to 8 down. If I can get 6 to 8 down on that first round, then I feel like I've done a good round.
Okay. Put this in perspective. Yeti. Mm-hmm. Some of you have heard of him, of course. Big smashy. Des won FPO and Jay won MP40.
Yeah, I remember that
Jay
guy.
Last year shot on 27 holes. First round. Shot a 13 under.
Mm-hmm.
And then followed that up with a 5 under. So he shot 18 under to win it in Masters, where Kale had one open at 28 under, and Jay's 18 under would have put him about 10th out of 51 in open. So at any rate, those are...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you literally could go out on the first round and you could shoot a 20. Like, it's there.
Sure. And
but
you could shoot a 1 over.
But then you could shoot a 1 over. Yeah.
So it's
if I can keep it above even this weekend, I'm going to be happy because, again, that long run has been killing me lately. But, yeah, we'll have to figure out a side bet of something. I don't know.
Bet your new car?
No, I do not.
That's no fun.
Nor my wife's, which we picked up last night.
See, so you're not even attached to it yet. So if
I'm
you were
not.
to lose it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
My wife would be upset. And
I'd let her drive it once in a while.
Oh, that's sweet of you. No, we ended up getting a Santa Fe. It's not a new one. It's a used Santa Fe. But it's weird because neither of us ever owned a Hyundai before, and now we're a 2 Hyundai family.
2 Hyundai family. There's got to be a name for that.
I hope not.
Should I Google it?
Please
I don't know what's going to come up. There's got to be a special name for it.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah, it's probably an Urban Dictionary, and it's probably not good.
First of all, I probably don't spell it right.
Hyun. I've had to learn how to spell it lately.
Suited for families.
But, yeah, so my wife got a Santa Fe, which has a 3rd row behind it. I offered to drive this weekend, and our my driver, he declined because he has all of his stuff like pre-packed, and he's very much like into the car camping scene, and so he's like, no, I got everything set, I'm good. And I'm like, okay, like the Santa Fe, I'd love to break it in, and it's pretty big. It'll fit everything. It could fit Miller too, for crying out loud.
Fit on me.
Yeah,
average height me.
Average height Terry will fit anywhere in that car. So, yeah. But
all right. Well, I guess then when he gets his haircut mid-drive, at least the hair will be in his car.
That's true.
You won't have it in
those little hair
car.
schnibbles that
you won't have it in his. I'm saying when you buzz his hair. Like he's driving. Just be like, is that a squirrel? I can't wait.
Oh, that would be pretty
And we
funny.
know he's not listening right now.
No.
I made not the mistake. I purposely called him today to talk a little bit about this. And he just texts back. He's like, dude, at my job. I'm like, well, sucks for you. I'm out doing stuff.
Yeah.
We work different times, Steve.
Yeah.
Loser drive Terry's Prius.
Terry doesn't have a Prius. I have the EV. I've got the Ioniq 5 right now. Loser has to drive your Element for a week.
Which for a moment didn't allegedly start this morning. I was startled.
Ooh.
My 16-year-old Allison comes in to shake me. So the car didn't start. And I mean, it's a 2005 Honda Element. It's doing its job for now. generally by starting.
If it gets from A to B.
And it gets her from A to B, and it's not all beat up or rusty or anything. It's just clearly not a modern car. And we live in a very tiny village, and she doesn't go a lot of places. And it's currently not costing her anything. So she has to go to work this morning, but first has to walk some dogs that she's, dog sitting up the road and do all this other stuff. She totally startles me, wakes me up and says, "Car's not starting. The Element's not starting." I'm like, "Oh, all right. When do you work?" Da, 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 da. And I needed my car, and I said, "Fine, I'll just take you, and I'll worry about getting you later." She's like, "Okay, I'm going to go walk the dog up the road, and then I'll meet you there. Pick me up from there." We've got a few extra minutes. She doesn't have to go that far, but we got a few extra minutes. We're still okay. Get dressed very quickly, just bare minimum to get out the door to then drive her, the 10 minutes to her job. I walk outside. I grab the keys, grab everything, my phone. I walk outside. There's no Element there. And all I'm thinking is, what do you mean it didn't start? It's not there where I saw it 5 hours ago when I went to bed. What do you mean? I check my phone. I pull my phone out to call her, and she goes, "Oh, I tried it again. It started." And all I'm thinking is, what did you not do right the first time? Because she said it started right up. So I don't know if she did something goofy. I don't know. She's been driving for 8 or 10 months, so I don't know what she did. But anyway, I guess the silver lining is it started right up, and it was, in fact, fine. And she took it to work, got back from work, and it's not a problem. But so I then went back to bed, fought to finally fall asleep an hour later to get a little bit more beauty rest. And as you can see, it didn't help.
Oh, I think it helped. Sadly, I think it helped a lot.
Okay, I'll take that then.
You should see where he was before.
Speaking of roommates, you and I might be bunking up.
Oh, are we going to be bunking up?
I don't know.
I call bottom bunk.
Okay, I'll be on the top bunk. We'll see how that goes for you.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the last few years I've had like the single room on the other side of the bunk beds all to myself.
Doesn't sound like it's gonna happen this year.
No, I feel sorry for anyone because I've been having my allergies. My snoring is a little fierce.
I will beat your face if you snore. I will not be shy about it. I promise. I promise you that.
Gosh.
Artie, I don't think I get the reference. McCartney, first of all, says the Element has the aerodynamics of a Berg. Yes, I'll be the first to admit I openly ripped on Elements and did think they were pretty ugly. I got one and realized how insanely
convenient,
but as a disc golf vendor, to either quickly push the seats up to the side or flat out remove them in seconds. And as a disc golf vendor carting around thousands of discs in the big gray heavy duty totes, there is no vehicle on the market that's of that size that had that cargo capability. Unless you go to a minivan and then take down all the seats and do everything with a minivan, which I absolutely did not want to have. But in terms of any other vehicle, like a Honda Pilot, you could put down all the seats nowhere near the cargo space. When an Element is emptied out and you either have the seats up to the side or removed, there's nothing that even comes close in terms of sheer cargo space. So the amount of stuff that I carried around for more than a decade in running tournaments, in vending, in doing clinics and shows and everything else, it was easily one of the greatest investments I ever made. Not knowing even just how great it was, but turned out to be. And for a hot minute, Elements were an incredibly popular disc golf vehicle for a lot of our touring players. Yep. And to this day, because if you're short enough, they still make sense as a touring converted camp life style.
I don't think that makes sense for anybody now.
Not like a van would, obviously, not like a conversion van. But if you didn't want to do a conversion van and you wanted to camp, so to speak, or make a traveling like camper out of a vehicle, to this day, an Element would still be a great choice in terms of all that cargo space and style, cargo space or room that I just mentioned. So,
and it's easy to clean out, as everyone jokes about. You can hose it out because it's kind of just got that aesthetic. And
if you need a hose for whatever you're doing in your car, though, I always wonder, like, what the hell are you doing?
I mean, you could be mudding it. Like, you might, whatever you're doing, you know?
I just feel like I'm not transporting pigs. Like, actual, like, a pig pen in there. And again, yeah, as you said, you could take a hose due to the vinyl flooring, but in the 15 years I owned an Element, at no point did I ever think, yeah, this needs to be hosed down. That would be the most efficient way to clean this thing out. I don't know. But yes, that was one of the selling features of it, nonetheless.
Have you've heard the phrase measure twice, cut once? Yeah.
Not for Steve Feld's haircut tomorrow.
No, it's measure none times.
Yep.
It also goes with buying refrigerators. So we were in the market for a new refrigerator, and the one we have is small, and so the seal on it, it's an old refrigerator. I bet you that thing is probably 15 years old. The seal on it we've replaced already once, and it's still doesn't give a great seal. So sometimes it gets wet and it molds up, and you have to clean it a lot. And it's just not a very good refrigerator.
The seal
like,
for the door.
The seal for the door. Yeah, it's like an old school like squishy seal. It doesn't seal. Whenever you open the refrigerator door, you can see like the all the condensation on the freezer drawer above it. It's worked. It's not broken, but we were going to replace it. And so I measure where the fridge is going to go. Cool. I have 35 inches, which sucks because refrigerators are 30, 33, and 36. Well, we can't get a 36-inch one. That sucks. So we get a 33-inch one. No big deal.
My only thought, I'll interrupt quickly.
Okay.
My initial thought then comes down to obviously the style, the space in which it's in. But the first thing I go to when you're saying this is hinges, doors opening, style of door. Like that's immediately where my mind is then going, because I think you may, in theory, have enough room, but how does the actual door or doors open? Are they sliding out straight? Are they opening? Is it one door? Is it two hinge doors? You know, like opening from the center. So carry on with your story.
And so I measure the spot where the refrigerator goes. Cool. 33 inches will fit perfect. No big deal. Got a little bit of room on the side. Front door, where we're going to bring it in. So it's standard like 36-inch door. Awesome. What I neglected to measure was the door to the kitchen, which is a pocket door, which is only 29.5 inches. So the guys come in, and this was on Monday. On Friday. Last Friday, they come into our house, they look at the thing, they measure, like, yeah, it'll fit here. And then the guy walks apparently out of the kitchen, and he measures the kitchen. He's like, this ain't getting in here. And my wife's like, what? He's like, yeah, it's a French door style on the top. It's not counter depth. It's like deeper than that. So it's like 35 inches deep and 35 inches or 33 inches wide. And the guy's like, yeah, we can't get this in here. Now, my kitchen has this giant pass-through window. I told my wife, I'm like, can't they just like bring it, like tip it on its back and put it to the pass-through? And she's like, super light. And she's like, they're not going to do that. And I'm like, all right, you're right. But can I do that? And they wouldn't. They wouldn't allow you? They not that they wouldn't allow me, but my wife wasn't down with that. Because I thought, you know what? I get 2 or 3 guys. I could probably just tip it on its side for a short time. Refrigerators in general aren't supposed to be on their sides. Yeah, there's some Freon not the Freon. There's some compression oil and stuff like that. But I figure if you tip it on its side just for a little bit, get some guys to lift it, move it, and then get it in the kitchen. You tip it up, and you're good to go. Yeah. And my wife wasn't down with that. So you cut a hole in the roof? No. So we just had it returned. We didn't get a new refrigerator. We're still rolling with the old one. So, which is fine. Like, to me, I'm okay with that. Like, I know it's... What size is this pocket door? You said 29 inches? It's like 29 inches. So you're going to have to find something sub 29 inches? At least one direction. So like counter depth or whatever. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass, which is why the refrigerator we have in there is really kind of small. Yeah, well... And small doors mean small fridge. That's exactly somewhere that should have been in one of your architecture classes in college. I know, and I took a few of them. Exactly. So, Yeah, so there's no way to get it in. There's no way to get in unless I bring it through the door. So now my wife and I are looking at like, well, do we just get rid of do we try to get rid of like the pass-through window and make the door wider and then just get rid of the pocket door? Like just remodel kind of that area of the kitchen. And I looked at my wife and we were discussing it. And I looked at it and I go, that's not happening soon. Like that's like a real remodeling investment at that point. I'm not, I ain't about that right now. Not after we just, had to replace my car, had to replace her car. Like it's like I'm like, you are looking to like just absolutely kill us, and that ain't about that. So patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV.
I know people are calling you out. Like
I know
2 new cars and now a fridge.
I know. Well, the fridge. I'm not gonna lie. The fridge we helped paid for with the basement insurance money that they gave us.
Ooh, don't tell.
Yeah, don't tell the internet. So that was why we went. And my wife, when we moved into this house 5 years ago, she looked at that fridge and went, "It's probably gonna have to be replaced." And I, at the time, because the gasket for the seal was disgusting and ripped. In fact, our refrigerator right now has no door handle because when we moved in, the very first time I went to open it, the handle came off.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was just propped up there.
100%. It was propped up there from the old owners.
Sale.
And you can see that there's like some sort of glue that they tried to stick it on with. So the handle came off of the first day. So now if we want to open it, thankfully we're all tall. And we can just usually grab it by the top and pull it. Not a big deal.
So you guys are heightist around here.
Yeah, we are heightist.
Can I open the fridge door? Would I fit?
You're about as tall as the fridge with as short as this. So the refrigerator has been on the agenda for many years, and I keep putting it off. Like I said, I replaced the gasket. I found one that matched our refrigerator, which is, I don't even know the brand of refrigerator. It's nothing I'd ever heard of when I moved in here. But I guess it's not uncommon. Pay and Keeley or something. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Key and Peele?
It's not Key and Peele. I thought, but it's something along those lines. And
they probably have a fridge skit somewhere.
They probably do. And so it was a pain in the ass to track down the gasket that fits for it. And then I replaced that. And now we clean the gasket every couple weeks just to make sure that it doesn't continue to mold, and because the seal isn't great after we replace the gasket and whatever. But I'm actually kind of happy that the refrigerator is returned because that's less out of my pocketbook right now. And if we don't need to replace it, I don't want to. But at some point, I'm going to have to give in and replace this refrigerator.
Nothing a little cooler and a frequent ice run can't fix.
That's what I figured.
Like, honey, you got to go get ice again today.
Yeah.
Everything we have in the cooler is no good. Mm-hmm. A nice cooler could hold you guys over for like weeks at a time if you just keep it full of ice.
Sure. Just keep going getting that ice. Just drive. Honey, we need more ice.
All right. Well, some good advice on the board had said, if you end up tilting one on its side, they said just leave it, get it upright vertical again for 24 hours before you plug it in.
That's what I've heard. I did do a little research on that. But
I learned that. That's something I wouldn't have known or quite frankly would have looked into.
And Earl says remodeling a whole doorway for a fridge. Now, Earl, I'm going to tell you this. When we moved into the house, the kitchen is dated. It is in need of a remodel. So that would be like the beginning part of a full remodel. But this would, but when I told my wife that, she's like, well, we could just take out like some of the cabinets and the backsplash, because she hates the backsplash. It's like this 80s dated stuff. And I'm like, I'm like, are you nuts? Like, you're talking now, if we hire it out, I have no clue. It's going to be, probably $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to do a kitchen. If I do it myself, I'm talking many
20,
months.
30, 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I ain't in no hurry to be doing that. I ain't in no hurry to be doing this. But yeah, so that was part of it. We would remodel. We would open the doorway more, and then build a cabinet where the pass-through was, because the pass-through has like this really, it's got a lower set of cabinets that are underneath the pass-through. So it would be part of a bigger remodel. We wouldn't remodel the kitchen just to get the fridge in. That would just be the bonus. Because then if we remodeled that, we could actually fit a full 36-inch refrigerator in there. But I'm okay not doing it. I really am. I have no urge. My wife would have it done yesterday if it were up to her. But to me, I'm very like, oh, bummer, it didn't work. So yeah, so we just got our money back for the refrigerator, and at some point we'll do something. We'll figure it out. I told her I'm in no hurry though. So yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to, now that we covered Taylor and Travis and the engagement in the regular show, we're going to move into the more pressing issues of the day. We got to talk Cracker Barrel logo.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe some flag burning. We got other subjects.
The Cracker Barrel logo isn't changing.
I only bring it up because I literally just saw scrolling, and someone on my Facebook feed said that the Cracker Barrel announced old logo is coming back after rebrand. Yes, I'm very happy they posted, someone on my feed, and good. Funny. It's a funny world we live in. Is all I'll say about all of that, and we can. That's all I have to say about that. I am definitely getting older and more crotchety, old man crotchety every single day, and I feel like I'm. I don't. Is it society or the internet that I hate more, or just the society on the internet? Because it took 0.0000 seconds to see the picture of what are a very commonly themed or consistently themed-ish picture of the trophies from Idlewild, and I immediately thought, great, the internet is gonna now make something out of this. And of course I wasn't disappointed. I didn't go seek out any more fodder on it. It was within my feed everywhere in various random spots, whether I was looking for it or not, which I wasn't. I guess, and I know this sounds on brand with what I'm about to say, but it's like the only way people are happy is if they're pissing and moaning about something. Is that the? It's kind of in that phrase, like the only way you're happy is if you're unhappy.
I think
does everybody have to be outraged about everything? And I challenge myself with that. I think there was something, I forgot what it was this weekend. Thankfully, maybe I already forgot about what I was mad about. And then I thought, how many other people need to care about this or should care about it, or if any? It would be zero. It was whatever it was a frustration that I was having. Is it a life-changing frustration? But I am all about some accountability / reviews. Like I hate going to, if you go to a store, a business, something at all product or service related, and they consistently or frequently provide you terrible service, at a certain point, then yes, feedback is warranted, because I would like to prevent others from going there and having a bad time. And I'd also like that somewhere maybe with this feedback, they change their ways. If I'll just make up a place and say, you go to Chipotle and you always go to the same Chipotle and you always get terrible service, whether it's one particular employee or they're always out of chicken. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever it is, none of that's life-changing for starters. We all know this, right? None of those things are life and death. There's many bigger problems in the world. But if you go there and 6 out of 10 times there's something that's incredibly disappointing, first of all, the onus is on you to change your pattern of some type, right? You can do something about that. But then the question is how outraged do we need to be about what it is? And is that a post or a tweet? And again, I've been all part of this. I am not just pointing fingers at anyone else. I have been part of this. I think I remember what it was this weekend. We barely made the flight on Sunday night because the plane was a few minutes late. And of course, you think every other time you travel, you don't want your flights to be late. Because I left the course super late, all the way down to the final putt. We were speeding to the airport slightly. We were running through the airport to get to the gate. And I walk up and the A people, A list, or A1 through 60, aren't even lined up yet. Meanwhile, I'm sweating because we have gotten all the way through the Denver airport, which is very big. Get there in time. And I walk up and I'm like, what? We're not boarding? Because at that point, were supposed to be boarding. Even after they pushed it back the 12 minutes, the new time showed that we should be boarding by now. And they're like, no, our crew's not here yet. The plane is here now.
They're at the bar.
The
They're
crew,
waiting.
yeah, the crew we need isn't here yet. I was like, okay, I'm going to catch my breath. In this case, I was like, wow, sounds good. And I said to the lady at the desk, I said, okay, is this like are you thinking like 5 minutes? Because my kids didn't eat. I didn't eat. We had just rushed from the course. It had been a super long, stressful day at that point. And I just wanted to have some idea if I have 5 minutes or do I have 45 minutes? What do we have here? Since we were already stressed about getting there on time, which was our fault, but we got there, everything was good. And she's like, I'd say like don't go far. I'd say like 5 minutes at most. Okay. It's 8:04, 8:09, 5 minutes at most. I walk away. I find my daughters, who then I'm like, hey, you have a few more minutes. Take your time, order whatever you want, and get it to go, obviously, and I'll meet you over at the thing. I'm going to go stand in line. 5 minutes later rolls by, nothing happens. A full 10 minutes, it's 8:14 rolls by, nothing. 5 minutes after that, they get on and say, hey, we're waiting on our crew. It's probably going to be about 5 to 10 minutes. All I'm thinking is, hell no. Like, if they were 5 minutes away 15 minutes ago, like, you could have practically been able to see them. Quit lying. You're just lying. Like, you're flat out lying. And this isn't the first time, and I'm not blaming just Southwest. This happened at a United flight recently. Sure. It's like, it's just this funny psychology that they want to give you, like, to just be a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. But it's so much more irritating when they say it's going to be just a couple more minutes, but they tell you that 7 times.
I mean,
but they don't want to say, well, it's going to be 30 minutes. But I feel, just rip the Band-Aid off. Quit lying to us. Because in a place like Denver Airport, if you are 5 minutes away, like, you're just down the concourse at that point. Like, that place is huge. So if there's 3 or 4 crew members that are truly 5 minutes away or not. 15 minutes rolls by, 20 minutes rolls by, we're still sitting there. And all I'm thinking is, I'm like, oh my God, I could have done a proper interview at the course. We could have said proper goodbye. Like, there's so many more things we could have done if you guys would have actually, like, updated the app, but you're in fear of pissing people off by admitting that you're going to be late. Instead, we just sit there and we're late and nothing updates. It's travel. It's not perfect. We're lucky that we can fly in these big metal tubes, as Bill Burr says. I understand that. I'm very blessed that I feel like I've rarely been burned by travel, knock on some wood somewhere. But at the same time, you're just like, why are you lying to my face? Like, these people are not 5 minutes away. It's just not possible. Anyway, I didn't post about it. Here I am ranting about it. You take everything with a grain of salt. Heads shouldn't roll. It was a slight delay, and in what was going to be like this grace and this saving grace of them being late, then still turned into like a delay. I just didn't understand it. Custom Map says an old trick is that planes push back from the gate to get on time departure, but continue to load baggage while you sit there. Yeah, that happened too. Coincidentally, I remember I pulled up the app and at one point we finally get on. We're boarded. Everything's still late, technically. And I look down, and again, this is all part of like plane speak and how they do things. I get it, when the door shuts, so on and so forth. But I look, we're on the runway, and we must have been in queue, which I understand. There's congestion on runways, especially when one a-hole's already late. And then, we're on the runway for another than 20 minutes, and we're clearly in queue. You see it. And it's funny because when you look at the app, it says, departed 12 minutes ago. It's like, no, we haven't. Like, we haven't, right?
You've departed
from the gate. The door is shut.
Gate.
We departed from the gate.
Yeah.
And they have their metrics to show that, according to JD Power Associates, we're 97% on time. Your on time and my on time are very different things when it comes down to it. So, anyway.
But the girls had fun at the event?
They had
your daughters
an effing blast,
Good.
And thank you to anyone and everyone that you talked to them or where they gave you a hard time or you purchased something from them. We had a great time. We went to Bombay Brewing, which was a sponsor, on Saturday night. Spent a good time with some of the staff and the crew, along with some of the players in the event. host. Like everything about this weekend was a lot of fun, and it may or may not have inspired my 14 and 16-year-olds to dig their bags out and maybe just go throw a disc once in a while. They've both played, I'm going to say less than 20 rounds in their life, each of them. Yeah, that's probably a good estimate. Maybe 20 rounds.
Makes you feel like a failure as a dad.
I'm like, do you not see?
My kid's the same way.
Like Kristen and Owen and Missy, like you could win real money here, girls. Ida Letamaki, I'm like, there's a 50. She was
Yeah.
Come on, girls.
Chop, get in that backyard, start putting.
And then I think, no, Valerie Jenkins didn't care at all about disc golf. Mom's a world champ. Dad's a world champ.
Yeah.
Brother, is a phenom at that age,
yep.
Throwing a mile. And Val sat in the van, reading magazines, probably listening to her tape deck, or Walkman or Discman at the time, and couldn't care less about disc golf until a couple years later. So there's still time.
It's getting less and less.
But yeah, that
likely.
Kylie and MJ and Ida and the other Ida and all these other women. Addison, yeah,
it's different because back then not that you still can't come in late, but it was easier for Val to come in late because she was still early. Like now we're seeing all these young kids and it's going to be harder and harder to be like, I'm 19, I'm going to pick up this sport.
Oh, well, by the time you have some of our players entering into their first FPO division, they've been playing for 6 years and they're only 17. They've been at a junior worlds. They play in all these leagues and it's our generation of men and women junior players is incredible. So
I didn't even tell you. I don't think I told anybody yet.
Smashbox exclusive.
My son made the varsity volleyball team.
Wow, they have a water boy for
They don't. They've got a bench warmer now, but
I'm kidding. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's realistic. He knows. He's like, Dad, I'm not going to see the floor much. He's like third string center. Yeah,
there with a towel.
But yeah, he made
still cool.
He was pretty excited about it.
9 feet tall. That helps.
He's almost 6'8". Yeah, yes. I think they see potential.
Like, can you just stand here and put your arms up?
Yeah,
that's all he has to do, right?
Yeah,
at that height.
Yes. Like any jumping, he's like.
Yeah, he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to, but he still. Some of these kids do. He needs like.
Is he? I think I know. Yeah. I think I know this answer. The height in which he in men's volleyball is that the same height net that my daughter will play on? I don't know. No,
I don't pay attention.
Volleyball height nets in high school are the same.
I think the women's net's a little lower, but I couldn't say for sure.
I mean, that would make sense. Height. I'm going to type.
It's not sand volleyball. It's indoor.
High school volleyball. Men versus.
But yeah, there's a kid who's his age who is also a basketball player, jumps through the freaking roof. He's the starter. There's another kid who is just more athletic than my son. And then there's my son. And his idea is if he's lucky, he gets to see the floor as a senior a lot more than as a junior. Because the one kid that can jump through the roof also is notoriously injured every year.
Oh.
He's the skinniest twig you'd ever seen. He was like Gannon like 4 years ago. And the kid's just very breakable. My son is not. He's skinny, but he's not like that skinny breakable. So,
well, I've been updated. So now you know the net height is 7 feet 11 and 5/8 inches for boys, and 7 feet 4 and 1/8 inches for girls, which makes perfect sense.
Sure.
So yeah, there's about a 7-inch difference in what I'm assuming is high school volleyball nets. Roughly 7-inch difference, which of course I guess does make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I guess I only go to my girls volleyball, so
and I only go to the boys one. But no, he truly doesn't need to jump. Last year on the JV team, I watched him multiple times miss time jumps because again, he's not the most athletic kid. He's a brainiac, but he would miss time jumps, land, and still block the ball. And it just makes it's
like stand here.
It's demoralizing, I think, for the other kids. But I just chuckle at it. And yeah, he's all knees and elbows, as they say. Just very still not the most coordinated of kids, but it's fun. It's fun.
What kind of question is that? How the F do you get injured playing volleyball? A million ways.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Jammed finger, ankles. Honestly, this kid particularly, I don't know if he's got bad ankles or knees, but it's just like, just like basketball. It's technically not a contact sport, yet we see people blow out their ACLs and stuff like that. And a lot of these guys are jumping and diving on indoors. And all the boys these days, they all basically refuse to wear any sort of knee guards. I don't know if it's like a
tough guy thing,
like, just the war wounds. But I look at all of them and I'm thinking I'd be wearing some sort of knee sleeves, but none of the boys do. They're too cool for it. So, and it's not just our team. It's like very few of the boys do on any of the teams we play against. So,
Carney says he's a big fan of women's beach volleyball. I am sure that is strictly for the athleticism.
Yeah, they are
Carney,
very athletic.
I can read between the lines there of where I'm guessing you're at. Andrew Tate says no knee pad. That's pretty funny. Yes, he is no moral beacon for me or compass for me whatsoever. That's for sure. Yeah. Anyway,
and then custom course map says, yeah, anytime you quickly change direction. My kid ain't quickly changing direction.
Yeah, I just think, getting yourself twisted up. Yep. As a guy who only played it in basically gym class. I never had any particular interest in volleyball.
I love
but
volleyball.
Now I will say I love watching good volleyball get played. I've been now to a number of games and tournaments, of course, with my two daughters playing. And when you're seeing good volleyball, like it's actually exciting, like really exciting to sit and watch. And the frustration that I feel when you see a good hit or a bad hit, I should say. I never thought I would get that excited about watching it. But when bad volleyball,
oh my God, watching the
it's
bad
like
volleyball.
Any sport, of course, to some degree. But when it's bad, you're just like, oh my God.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you.
Not that hard.
Again, they're not putting my son in for his offensive skills. Last year, I watched the coach of my kid's team look at one of our players and give to stop setting it to my son.
Oh, okay. I thought it meant like you're done.
No,
I'm gonna kill you.
She looked at one of the other kids and gave this like, don't set it to him anymore. And the kid was like, okay, because he's not the best hitter. He's a pretty good blocker. He's not the best hitter. It's just timing and but it's amazing watching some of these other clubs. You've got kids that are my son's age, and this is whatever, who look like they're 25. They're just filled out. They're athletic. And then I look at my son and most of his friends, and they're all these like gangly 16-year-old just goons. I don't even know what more to say. So anyway. All right, I'm ready to wrap this up. Let's go to patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV. If you want to be eligible for our giveaway, you can be a supporter of SmashBoxxTV. We give away a disc every single week. And this week, we've got another box. We've got the other disc store box.
Now, this one, just to be, if we're going to be transparent, this one was in Johnny V's freezer. It just thawed out.
No, but it was in the flood.
Unintentionally.
It was
thawed
out. Yeah, so we have right now 104 people eligible for our giveaway. 104. I'm going to open this up and then actually let's draw a number first. Let's draw a number first, Terry. And
my gosh, we're going to do that?
And then we'll figure out what we're giving these people. So I'm going to pull up random.org. Boing. I pulled it up, Terry. What number should we generate? 2 for the number of years Paul McBeth didn't win. Oh,
too soon.
2 for the number of Idlewilds he's won.
Yeah, or we could go 31, 31st Northwoods Annual. If you want to hit 31 numbers. Fun fact, I was at the second ever Northwoods Annual Open in 1995.
I must have not got there till like 7 then.
Yeah, probably 97, 98, somewhere in that neighborhood. But my first ever, that was obviously the second year it happened. I was, all of like 16 or something like that, or 16 or 17. And then went for like 20 straight years, and then I've missed. So 31, I think, is the number. You get it?
Sure.
Okay. All right. 2. I like 2. 2's a good
All right.
number.
2's the number. 2's the number. The very first number we generate is 67. The second number we're generating is 74. 74 is the number. Let me look at what 74 is.
Ooh, be somebody at the tournament.
Oh,
and I can just hand it off.
Honestly, I already had my cursor there. Parker Mason. Congratulations, Parker Mason.
Parker Mason.
It's not
Congrats.
it's not a name I've heard. He's
not in a minute. Yeah.
Not in a hot minute. So congratulations, Parker. You won this box. I mean, I have to open it because it could be literally damp in there, depending on what that T-shirt is. I still haven't washed the other T-shirt. It's in the washing machine. I put it in there
today.
No, like 2 days ago. It's been I'm waiting for someone to put some other stuff in there. Yeah, but I tossed it in there.
Okay.
So sorry, Parker, but whatever you're getting in here is what you're getting, and I'm ripping it open right now. There is a shirt.
And it's moist.
It is a little moist. It was in a bag.
Well, that could go right in the.
That's gonna go right. In the also
go right
machine.
in the washing machine. And is there a?
There's a disc in here too.
Okay.
So you are getting a disc and a moist Olette. Oh yeah. Why don't you grab that disc? Peel it off. It's gross. Yeah, that's gonna go right in the washing machine tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a sumo. The T-shirt is a sumo bear.
And this month's retail value, $44.99.
So sorry, it's so gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this disc is a sumo, as Johnny just referenced and mentioned.
Who makes the sumo?
I'm gonna look. Is that an? I feel bad. I don't know. Is that a DM?
Is that Discmania sumo?
I don't.
Is that this just like a sumo stamp, or is the disc a sumo?
I think the disc is. So maybe maybe do the Googles. Take it to the Googles, or maybe somebody out on the board knows. But here's what we're looking at, which you can't really see too good because my face
disc.
But
from Legacy, the sumo from Legacy.
All right. Well, there we go. Feels good in the hand.
It holds any line you put it on.
It does. Now, this is a mid.
Yep.
I really do actually like how it feels. This is of a champion type plastic. That kind of style. I'm guessing it's stable. Is there? Do they have numbers listed?
They do not have numbers on the PDGA
They don't have flight numbers listed here. Approved in August 14th of 2023.
So congratulations. You get a sumo. That's beefy. Just a thick rim. Like Steve himself.
Our little spoon.
Thick.
So, yeah. Should be a
and
pinnacle.
I say that because I'm 3,000 miles away from him.
Pinnacle sumo is, and I'm seeing flight numbers according to one website that says 4204. So, as I said, beefy, which would make sense. It'd be kind of weird if there was a sumo and it was understable. That feels counterintuitive.
Probably, yeah.
So, the sumo.
Yeah, so congratulations to
Parker Mason.
Parker Mason. Congratulations to Parker Mason.
I'll make the same plug I often do. Someone reached out to me recently and said, hey, I think it was a little while back that I think I heard my name. And I double checked. They were absolutely right. It was coincidentally, it was on a night where we had a double giveaway. And I don't know if I only reached out to one and not the other. Whatever the case was, I will say it for the 100th time, maybe the 500th time. I'm not offended. Please do not feel like you're hassling me. You're not. If you have won something here and you haven't received it, it is 96% probably my fault. The other 3% we'll put on Johnny. 1% is maybe
I'll take it.
It went into your spam, but probably 96% on me. Do not hesitate to shoot me a message on whatever platform. Hope that I see it there. If I don't see it there, send me another message on another platform, whatever it is. We do not want to dismiss your giveaway or what's rightfully now yours if we've called your name and said that there's something that's coming your way. So please reach out, say, hey, if you, it's not that I don't trust you, but if you got a link and say, hey, 6 weeks ago I won something, maybe I sent you an email, maybe that went into a spam, maybe I didn't send you one. Maybe we have your wrong address. There's a lot of different possibilities. We're going to streamline this whole process, I promise, in 2026 or maybe even before that. I've got some ideas that are going to make it go even smoother for you so that this should never be an issue. But if you've won something or said that you won something, you haven't received it, do not hesitate to reach out. We want you to get your free stuff. Thank you for supporting us.
And that is the last moist box we have.
Well, that kind of moist.
Yeah. Well, we have Captain Moistbeard on the chat board.
A lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
That's the last one.
Carney, speaking of Portland, I'm coming to Bend, of course, to do back-to-back weekends for the Pro Tour. And typically I've run the Flex Start at, just for the flex of it, in Bend, I think for 3 years now? 2 or 3. I'm debating if that needs to be held somewhere else just to change things up.
Wow.
In that area during that week between the between the Smuggler's Notch weekend and the MVP on one of those days. That means I almost have to leave Bend though, because there's not a lot of good courses that could otherwise host us in Bend. So that maybe leads me to like a Portland area for the day. There's some thoughts there.
Maybe chat with Zoe.
Yeah, there's some. I would need to do some research, and sooner than later would be smart. But I'd like to bring a Flex Start somewhere, and maybe it happens in Bend again. I don't know.
The Bend and Flex.
Bend and Flex. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, that's very clever.
I went just for the flex of it.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, no, Bend and Flex is much better.
Flex and Bend.
Flex and Bend. Yeah, that could work too.
Bend and Flex makes sense too.
Clever.
Where were you on that one, Artie? Years ago. And Carney says you'd get a bigger turnout in Portland. Yeah, it's just a matter of then, like, how many hoops do I have to jump through? I'm okay with jumping through some, but not too many where it becomes
big hoops.
Yeah, big hoops, and don't let them move too much or be too high off the ground. But I'll jump through some hoops gladly, as long as they're not way cost prohibitive or totally exhaustive or exhausting to do. But I'd jump through some hoops and I'd make it happen. So, maybe reach out to me or something, or maybe
they're not tall hoops.
Maybe I'll reach Jay Harbor hoops. A little. I know there's other peeps in that area that could maybe help. We'll see. Okay, with that, we're gonna call it. Thank you guys for joining us. Holy cow, it turned out to be a long one.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Well, we had our interview late, and then we just jabbered on in the after show.
Stupid fridge stories. All right, for Johnny V. We're just chilling here, folks. For Johnny V, I'm the Disc Golf Guy. Look forward. Next week, we're going to have more breakdown of what we just saw for the Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships. We'll have some updates there. We'll be able to talk a little bit about the event we played in. Have a safe, fun, exciting closeout for many of you for the summer holiday, spring, summer, whatever, summer end as we head into the fall. Enjoy your Labor Day. Friends, loved ones, be safe. Don't lose a finger in some fireworks you shouldn't be shooting off, but put it in reverse. Do whatever you got to do, and we'll see you next Tuesday night for episode 571. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smashbox.